And we are live. Welcome to Walk Off Wagers presented by Pub Sports Radio, guys. Love doing this show with my guy Spoons every single Sunday. Appreciate everyone showing out early and often. We already got some people showing up in that chat. Appreciate you guys for showing up early here on a Sunday morning. I mean, it's 8 a.m. over here on the West Coast. I know it's 11 a.m. over there on the East Coast, so it's not too early, but it's early for the West Coast people. And I know we got some West Coast people in the building, so shout out to all of them in the chat. And everyone that's going to be watching today, we've got a nice program today. We've got a special guest coming on that's going to break down a good amount of the card with us that I'm really excited to share the screen with. Been able to share the screen with him a couple times in the past. I'm looking forward to it again as well. And I'm your guy, Wine Time Sports, and this is my guy, Spoons Bets. Spoons, how you doing here on a beautiful Sunday morning, man? I know you had a solid day yesterday with the kiddo's birthday, and that went well, so shout out to him as well. How was your weekend?
It's been a great weekend. I haven't had a losing day in the betting world since last Thursday, so it's been really fun. And yesterday we did my son's birthday party. We got a 108-foot long inflatable obstacle course with a huge water slide. It was a blast. Had a ton of kids over. It was great. He slept really good last night. He's actually just barely woke up, and it's 11 o'clock over here. This kid's normally an early riser, so really fun to see just him having a blast. I went through it a bunch of times too. About the seventh time, I'm like, I'm probably going to turn an ankle this next time, so I'm just going to stop right there while I'm ahead and just watch the kids have fun after that. But it was great. It's one of those things. Really looking forward to today's card. I joined Kyle on his show last night. We broke down everything. It was a pretty fun card. I found some angles. I have two looks that I'm looking to add in this card, and I'm hopefully get some really good advice from a good Angels fan and a good Red Sox fan, what they think of the card themselves. So excited for this. Anything? Let's get right onto it, I think.
Yeah, you are good, my guy. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Want to give everyone a quick shout out here. Especially the people that have showed out early and often. I saw my guy Truth Teller in the building. He had the first couple comments on there. See my guy Swaggy in there. McNuggles, shout out to him. Big Daddy Boom, always showing love. Sports scientist Jacob said, start the show already. Shout out to you, Jacob. Slyon7107, Big Dog Money. Truth Teller again. JM, Justin McKelvey, Beavis, Nasty Motherfucking Nate, my guy right there. Ron Lofton, Chad Pickard, Robert McCorn. We got a lot of people in the chat right now, man. Shout out to all you guys. Ken Wood's in there as well. Stephen Harris.
Shout out to Sly One. I heard you just read his name. He's been super positive in all my comments this week on X. He just joined Pub Sports Radio this week on the membership level. So shout out. The memberships mean a ton to everybody here at the channel. So thank you for showing support, Sly One.
Yeah, shout out to you, Sly One, for getting a membership, guys. Yeah, and guys, if you haven't gotten a membership, consider getting one. Gives you guys access to certain things we have here on Pub Sports Radio that not everyone gets to watch, certain content. And also we do a horse race if you do the premium membership. So consider that, guys. Without further ado, let's get into this card. We've got a loaded 15-game card per usual. See my guy Dabby Cap in the building. Shout out to you. Jackie Rose as well. I said new here. Love watching Spoon on Kyle's show. Jackie, we love having you here on Pub Sports Radio. Appreciate your support. It means the world to us. Shout out to you. Let's get to this first game, though, man. This is a good series right here. I mean, very interesting series. I haven't been able to get a good read on this at least, but let's pull this up here. We have St. Louis Cardinals, Cleveland Guardians. We've got Matthew Liberatore on the mound against Logan Allen here. Currently, where the line is sitting right now, we have the St. Louis Cardinals. Let's see if I can pull this up if it wants to cooperate. Cardinals sitting at a minus 110. Cleveland Guardians sitting at a plus 100 on the money line. We've got a total of about 8.5, slightly juiced to the under at minus 115. Nothing too crazy, though. Spoons, do you have anything in this first game? I know this game's going to be popping off here in about less than an hour. So,
yeah. So this is the first wager I made. I'll just start with the market here. I'm going to try to do that for every game. Just try to stay a consistent way I approach it. So 58% of the tickets are currently on the St. Louis Cardinals and 81% of the money. 66% of the tickets are on the under and 80% of the money is on that under. This is a spot last night where the Cardinals were a much bigger dog. I locked it in at plus 108 around midnight. I think this is a really good spot for them. You look at this Cleveland team. They have the day off tomorrow. Cardinals have to play tomorrow. They have the ability to just use their entire bullpen. Logan Allen is a pitcher that sometimes he looks really, really good on the mound. He has some nice stuff, but other times he leaves a lot to be desired. I think pitching here in a home environment, this is his ability to stack a second home start in a row. I think he's just going to be very comfortable. And if he's not comfortable, the Guardians have their entire bullpen to use. Everybody's fresh and available, and they have the day off tomorrow, so they don't have to worry about it. On the other hand, Matthew Liberatore, kind of one of those guys as well. You can get a really decent start or a really bad start, and I think the Guardians can probably get to him. And if they can't, the bullpen situation for this Cardinals team, they're not going to have their closer. One of their setup men is not going to be available. I don't think this is a spot where the Cardinals are really going to be able to use all the pieces the way they'd like to. And when you have a pick 'em and one team just has so many more resources available to get the win, I really want to just try to get on that team. This Cleveland bullpen is a bullpen I trust. Over the last 30 days, their ERA is 5th in baseball. Between Logan Allen, the bullpen, I think they're not going to let the Cardinals bats get too many runs today. And is this spot I really like. Cleveland Guardians plus 108. It's on my card. Ballpark Pal has this game modeled at plus 8% runs and plus 14% home runs today at Progressive Field. It's going to be a rather nice day. So, Wine Time, you can go ahead and take this away. Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, Spoons. I was on the Guardians yesterday. Screw me, right? Blowing a 6-1 lead pretty quickly, too. They took that lead and then gave it right back up the next inning. I think it was the next inning they gave up 2, and then the next inning they gave up 5. End up losing the ball game 9-6. Just my luck being on a team that's up 6-1 in a game. I haven't gotten a good read on this Guardians team this season. My ROI hasn't been in the positive backing this team, whether it's on them, against them, just in their games in general. If I had to take something here, I would maybe consider taking the under here just because we saw, 15 runs scored on the board yesterday, and 15 of those runs were scored in, 2.5 innings. I kind of have a lean towards the under, and I kind of did have a lean towards the Guardians, but I'm just not getting a good read on this team. This team's not playing really good baseball. I'm not sure if you touched on it really quick. Let me pull up the line. Yeah, so Jose Ramirez he's hitting third today. He's in the lineup. Both lineups are official. So we've got – this is a pretty even matchup. I think it's priced exactly where it needs to be with both of these teams. These are two teams that I see around as 500 teams, which their records indicate right now. This is going to be a pass for me. Nothing to do with the first game on the board here. I do have a lean towards the under, but it's not that strong of a lean. It's nothing I'm going to actually get to the window on here in this situation. So for my guy Spoons, let me write it down here really quick. What number did you get again, Spoons?
I got plus 108 on the Cleveland Guardians.
Guardians plus 108. All right, and right now, currently sitting, you can get them still around a plus 100. You can probably still get them around a plus 105 at certain books. Spoon, is that what it's currently priced at right now, or is that what you took it at?
That's what I took it at. I can do a little bit of shopping to see what it's at.
Best. Oh, you're good.
So one thing I want to mention on that under is I think the market's starting to respond to all the tickets and money on the under. I see a couple 8s around the board. Last night, there was only 8 5s available. If you like that under, I think the market's telling you it's live.
Yeah, I might. We'll see. Maybe we'll circle back over this game around 9 a.m. Right before it starts. Maybe we'll add something, see if anything changes in this line, see if it maybe goes up to a minus 120. We'll see. Let me refresh this really quick. Yeah, still minus 115 right now. Oh, wow. No, you are right, Spoons. 8.5s are off the board. I'm down to an 8 right now, minus 105. That didn't take too long us talking about that.
There's quite a few 8.5s still out there. I realize you only have so many books available to you because California is still living in that archaic betting law world.
Yeah.
We got to get you some new options. Our guest today, you should talk to him. I think he can help you out with that.
Yeah, and actually, I am sitting on another book. I am seeing actually minus 8 and under 8.5 at minus 118, so a little bit juice. So maybe I'll I don't know. This is going to be, I already said this is going to be a pass. Not enough
We got,
correlates for me in this game.
we got to give a shout out to Razor Sharp Picks. He's always showing support over here at Pub Sports. Love this guy. If you don't know about him and the ponies, absolutely amazing stuff. Cashed a $40,000 ticket earlier this year on the ponies. Absolutely.
I remember that. Shout out to my guy Razor Sharp Picks
in the building.
Yeah, I see both of the fellas right there, man. My two guys right there gotten to kick it within the last couple of years at Palooza. Two good dudes right there, great cappers, but better people. Shout out to them. We got to get Razor on here one of these days. I know my guy Troy Torrance killed it on here last show. We need him back on here as well. So shout out to Troy Torrance. I see my guy Isaac Clara in the building. It's Stack Day. Let's make that money. Shout out to you, Isaac, my guy right there. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Appreciate you guys. Make sure to hit the like button.
Mally Mal with a really good note about the Cardinals lineup. They're missing their hottest bat, Alec Burleson.
Is that actually? Oh, I didn't even notice that either when I was looking at the lineup. Yeah, so Burleson is out of this game. Okay, interesting.
Refresh because I still have all projected.
Let's see here.
I got cool. Yep,
all
it's
right.
Donovan, Mason Wynn, Wilson Contreras, Arenado, Gorman, a name I can't pronounce, Pedro Pajes, Garrett Hampson, and Victor Scott. So it's the B lineup in for the Cardinals. I love to see it. I think this is a spot Logan Allen can really pitch well. The Cardinals bats on paper look decent against left-handed pitching, but if we look at some of the last starters that they've seen, the last 11 innings, they haven't scored a run off them. They got one run off Andrew Abbott in 7. The last time they got to a left-handed starter, it was Jose Quintana, and I think this is a spot where Logan Allen's going to have a good start. I'm excited walking into this game. I love to see those lineup updates.
Yeah, and you got my guy Troy Torrance with you on the Cleveland Guardians. So you're in good company there. Shout out to Dylan in the chat. Followed Spooner here from Kyle Krim's Midnight Stream. Don't let me down, Spoon. Oh, we ain't going to let you down, Dylan. Appreciate you for coming out, man, and showing support. Hit the like button, guys, if you haven't. We got to almost 200 likes last week, which was one of the most of all time that we've had here at Pub Sports in quite some time. So shout out to everyone that hit the like button that came in. We want to do the same thing this week, guys. Let's get to 200 likes. Let's get to 1.5K views on here. Let's keep building, bringing new people in. Share it with your friends and family. I know I got some of my friends and family that don't even bet that are in the chat right now. So shout out to them as well. My guy, Sports Scientist Jacob, said this show's so underrated. Facts, my guy. Appreciate you as always, Jacob. He's another one of the newer Pub Sports Radio members here. We've had the last couple weeks showing all the support. Shout out to him. A Steed said facts. Beavis in there. Coin. I don't think I gave Coin a shout out. Shout out to Coin in the building. But let's move on to this next game here. We have New York Mets against the Pittsburgh Pirates here. Let me pull this up. Got to refresh. Sorry, guys. Pull this up right here. We got the Mets. Frankie Montas on the mound here. They're currently sitting at a -135, between a -140, depending on what book you're looking at. Pittsburgh Pirates sitting around a +125. Got a higher total here at 9 with a little bit juice to the over at -115. Let me pull up if they have confirmed lineups in this game here yet. No, we just got projected lineups. And correct me if I'm wrong. It's Mike Burrows, on the mound here for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Okay. Sorry, guys. A little hungover this morning. Had the in-laws over last night. We were taking a bunch of shots, so might be a little bit behind today. But shout out to you guys for being here as always. Spoons, take it away. Frankie Montas, Mike Burrows. And I know we have a special guest backstage. I'm not sure if he wants to get on for this game. If you do, give me a thumbs up back. Oh, he does. Awesome. Perfect. Without further ado, let's bring on my guy. I've shared the screen with him quite a couple times here in the past, talking baseball. One of my favorite people in the chat, one of the smartest people in the chat as well. Let's bring on my guy, TJ. What's up, TJ? Good to see you, my
Morning,
guy.
Guys. Yeah, man, good to be here. I'm glad I finally get to come on the show. I watch it every week, but it's just hard for me on Sundays sometimes. I got the kids every other Sunday. I got to drop them off early. But anyways, let's cap the card, man. I'm excited to be here. Hi to the chat, man, all my guys in there. It's just great thing to be a part of. So, pitch in the chat with what you guys think. And I just want to touch on that last game real quick. I'm also on Cleveland money line, and I got it kind of late last night. I think about +106. All the money's on St. Louis, and it's still going the other way. So I threw some on there. And there's some good options available in some exchanges. If you guys want to know about more options, if you're in a state that you can't bet and things like that. There's stuff like Brother out there. I'm more than happy to field some questions, and there's some alternate ways to get money down, guys.
That exchange he just mentioned, absolutely insane numbers that you cannot get on any sort of public books at times. I'm really blown away by that. Definitely worth looking into, especially if you're doing this every day. That the juice matters so much. If you can scrape 15 cents off it, you definitely need to be. You're wasting your money if you do not.
Yeah, I got to hit up my guy TJ about that probably after the show. But without further ado, let's get right into it, guys. New York Mets, Pittsburgh Pirates. Spoons, take it away. Give us the market info. Give us the weather info. Anything you have on this game here.
Yeah, we have the New York Mets and the Pittsburgh Pirates. We have 64% of the tickets currently in on the New York Mets and 71% of the cash. We have 50% of the tickets on the over and 86% of the cash on the over. It's kind of weird because I see mostly openings at 9.5, and it's come down to a 9 with all the money on the over. Definitely something to note. It's not anything I'm going to play as far as a total, but the books are telling you that they don't trust the market on the over here. It's going to be a really nice day here today at PNC Park. The temperatures are going to be in the high 80s. The humidity is high enough. It's going to make it feel like the 90s. Small wind blowing out to left field. Ballpark Pal has this modeled at plus 7% runs overall. It's going to be a really nice day at the ballpark to catch it. PNC is just beautiful. I would like to go there someday. Really nice looking park. This is a spot where the Pittsburgh Pirates have the St. Louis Cardinals on deck. They play tomorrow. I was mentioning that in the last game. The New York Mets do not have a game tomorrow, so they can really empty their bullpen into this game if they'd like as well. And that's why I'm on the Mets. I took the Mets -1 line. Don't have it right in front of me. I believe it's at -114. I have it quoted or tweeted out last night. You might even be able to get that same number right now. Edwin Diaz is going to be available. Reed Garrett's going to be available. Ryan Stanek's available. Every single trustworthy arm in this New York Mets bullpen is available. On the Pittsburgh side, all of their trustworthy arms pitched yesterday. That's 28 from Ferguson, 25 from Santana, and 18 from Bednar. And Bednar is a guy, a couple of years ago, you could always count on him to go back-to-back games and just be lights out. But of recent, anytime he pitches in back-to-back games, that second game is not a game you want to trust that arm anymore. And that's one of the big reasons that I like the Mets here today. Mike Burrows, he's a good young rookie. He's not one of the top rookies in this system. I think he's ranked 4th in their current prospects, and he got here by earning it. He's pitched very well in the major leagues. He's only given up more than 2 earned runs twice, and that was still Milwaukee and Texas. He's been very serviceable as a young rookie, and the Pirates have been able to lean on him. On the other side, we got Frankie Montas making just his 2nd start of the season, and he was pretty lights out versus Atlanta. Didn't give up a run, only 3 hits and 5 innings pitched. And I think we can expect a similar outing here today. That Atlanta lineup is much stronger than Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh versus right-handed pitching on the season is one of the worst lineups in baseball, 28th overall in weighted runs created plus. At home, they haven't scored that many runs. They're 25th overall in runs scored. I think this is just a really good spot that we can back the Mets. This is a much better team, in my opinion. Everybody in the lineup is there. Juan Soto, Frank. The official lineups out: Lindor, Nimmo, Soto, Alonso, McNeil, Santos, Beatty, Torrens. I think this is a really good spot for the Mets. Somebody else can go ahead and take it away. Wine time.
TJ, take it away, my guy.
Yeah, I was talking with Spoon about this last night too, and I also moved on the Mets -1, and kind of concerned here. You can get a much better number now. Money's on the Mets, market's going the other way. And I think maybe that's also just an indication of low volatility. This thing's getting the lines moving down, the totals moving down, which means I think they think both pitchers do okay here. Hard to know what to expect from Montez. I know a lot of people faded him in his last start, and he went out and shut down a decent team there. Like Spoon said, the Pirates' bats are bad. The bullpen situation. The Pirates' bullpen has been pitching really well the last 30 days, I will say. 4th in ERA, 1st in WOBA. Full season, they're not that bad either. And last 14 days, they're good. but I expect the Mets to do a little damage here off Brewers early. If I waited till today to bet this, I probably would leave it off my card, just because it went from minus 152 to now we're seeing 134s. That's quite a move, and it's very hard to sweep a team. So that's another reason I was kind of bullish on the Mets. I'm kind of confused on this one.
Yeah, TJ, this line is really confusing because you just mentioned it. I mean, the Pirates are going for the sweep here, and they've been in total control of this series. It is hard to sweep teams in baseball, and it's also hard to sweep teams that are 12 games over 500 when, you're 14, 15 games under 500, which the Pirates are. Something doesn't make sense to me in this line. If I would have looked at this lot, I didn't cap the card too much last night. I kind of did it all this morning. I have a lean towards the Pirates. I just think this line's a little bit fishy, and it's not really moving. We're seeing more of the money come in on the Mets right now. I can get a Pirates at plus 125 here at this book, plus 1.5, minus 130. I took that plus 1.5 on Friday, and I didn't even need it. I don't know. This is a tough game, very tricky here. I kind of want to take the Pirates here in this spot. It's just I don't really know if I can trust Burrows and Frankie Montas. It's kind of hit or miss for me throughout his career. He made me money in the past, but the last couple of years hasn't been too successful. When I backed him in situations, I have a lean towards the Pirates. This isn't official. This isn't anything I put in, and I would be on head-to-head with both of you guys on this one. So it's going to be a pass for me, but I do have a lean towards the Pirates and Mike Burrows. And I think, maybe a lower scoring affair too. We saw it open up at a 9.5. It's down to a 9 at some books right now. Under 9 minus 105 right now. I'm getting, what is this team total for the Mets here? 4.5, under 4.5 plus 110. That actually looks kind of interesting right there. It's going to be a pass for me. I'm going to let this one sit. Maybe we'll circle back over this game in a bit. It's going to be a pass for me, but we've got spoons on the, let's see here, on the Mets -1. Remind me, what line did you get again? Oh, you're muted, my guy. You're good.
Yeah, I have the New York Mets -1, minus 114 on my card. As TJ mentioned, you can get a much better number right now. I'd honestly just take the money line at this point. I'm not too worried by the market, but if this line doesn't come back a little bit towards the Mets by close, I'll have some more concern. But I feel like at this point, there's still a chance that more money comes in on the Mets right now.
Yeah, for sure. I think only more money is going to come in on the Mets. So if that line doesn't adjust, maybe I make a move on the Pirates. We'll see. Doesn't correlate enough for me. I want to give a quick shout out to everyone in the chat. A couple new people in there. Haven't greeted yet. Nathan Cerna, my guy. JM, Ron Lofton, my guy right there. Oldies in the building. We got Dylan here as well. We've got JM, Troy Torrance right there. Swaggy, Jeff Matthews. Jeff Matthews, that's another new name right there. Shout out to you for showing out. Dabby Cab's in the building as well. Shout out to you, Cab. If you want to come out and give out a prop at some point today during the show, you're more than welcome to. Hop backstage, I'll bring you in. But
Dabby has a play in this game. If he would like to come up, hop on right now, come right ahead. Also, shout out to Adam's Digest. He's a friend over at Kyle's Network. He's a great capper here in the chat today. So thanks for showing out.
Yeah, shout out to Adam Digest. He's a member as well. So appreciate that. It's going to be a pass for me. TJ, remind me. So you got Mets -1. What number did you get available?
I believe I got -112, but I mean, I wouldn't make that official for this show.
Okay, you got it. Not official for the show.
I don't want to give that out. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Cleveland money line, though, I'll make that one official.
Money line, you got it. Let's see. All right, let's move on then. Johnny K in the building as well. What's up, Johnny K? Sacramento Athletics here. Luis Severino on the mound here against Marcus Stroman and the New York Yankees. Let's see where this line is currently sitting. Now, we're currently seeing the Yankees at a -210. We've got a total of 10.5, a pretty high total. -115 to the under, -105 to the over here. This is going to be a game I know I'm not going to have a play on. I took the Yankees in a parlay on Friday. Didn't end up cashing the other side of it, though. They did take care of business, but I didn't get – I think it was the Diamondbacks that I parlayed it with, I want to say. I forgot. But with that being said, Spoons, take it away here, my guy. New York Yankees, Oakland Athletics.
I hadn't looked too closely at this game again this morning. This is absolutely eye-opening on the total. I'll just start with the tickets. We have 55% of the tickets on the New York Yankees and 64% of the cash on the Athletics. We have 54% of the tickets on the over and 65% of the money on the over. This opened on most books at a 9. We are currently sitting at a 10.5 at almost every book out there. That is a full run and a half of movement. And I think I probably agree with that over being the play. You shouldn't get on it at the 10.5, but the 9 was, anybody that got that, just hats off to you. We have a really nice day here in New York. Temperature is going to be in the high 80s, going to feel like low 90s, wind blowing out to right, about 8 miles an hour. Our friends at Ballpark Pal have this at plus 27% home runs for the day and plus 3% runs overall. So those balls going out to right here at Yankee, they're saying that little bit of extra wind is going to really be helpful for any of those pull hitters. The lineups in this game, checking to see if I have an official. I do. So Trent Grisham, Cody Bellinger, Aaron Judge, Ben Rice, Jazz Chisholm, Paul Goldschmidt, Jason Dominguez, Anthony Volpe, and Oswaldo Pereza. And then for the Athletics, we have Lawrence Butler, Jacob Wilson, Brent Rooker, Nick Kurtz, Max Muncy, Tyler Soderstrom, Luis Urias, Austin Wynns, and Denzel Clark. So I really do like the overruns here. Marcus Stroman has only pitched in 3 games so far this season. He's coming back from injury. And in those 3 games, he has not pitched well. He gave up 3 runs to Milwaukee in less than 5 innings. He gave up 4 runs to a weak Pittsburgh lineup in just 4 innings, and he gave up 5 earned to San Francisco in less than an inning pitched. So Stroman definitely is not comfortable on the mound yet. And on the opposite side, we have Luis Severino, who this is a big game for him coming back to New York. This is a guy who's pitched here in the past a long time, so it's got to be sort of a mental step-up game for him. But at the same time, the Yankees know this guy well. They know his pitch mix and how to attack it. And one thing I noticed with Luis Severino is he's good at getting righties out, but he is not good at getting lefties out. He's got a 1.54 whip versus lefties and a 4.63 xFIP. Those are not good numbers. Other lineups that have a lot of lefties, like Detroit, got 7 earned off him in just 5 innings pitched. Baltimore, a lefty-heavy lineup, 5 earned in just 5 2/3. And this Yankees lineup already this season, 8 earned in just 4 innings. One other heavy lefty lineup, Seattle, 4 earned runs. So anytime he sees quite a few lefties, Luis Severino struggles. And the Yankees did a good job of building their lineup with lefties today. Grisham, Bellinger, Ben Rice, Chisholm, Dominguez, and will all hit from the left-hand side of the plate today. And that's a lot of power. Ben Rice is a very noted pull hitter. Every week on the show, I do 1 home run prop, and I was kind of waiting to see where I'd want to put that home run prop. I think I just found it. I want to take Ben Rice for a home run today. I'll get you the odds I put it in at. You guys can go ahead and take away this game.
Yeah, I think
my strong leans to the over, but I can't get on it at that number with it completely disappeared like that.
I think I saw Troy Torrance on that. Yeah, he said Rice home run in the chat. So you guys are in agreement on that spot. He did. He said that about a minute ago. So shout out to you. Yeah. TJ, take it away. Do you have anything in Yankees athletics?
Disappointed in myself because I saw this 9, not jump to 9.5, and I kind of wanted to get on it. And it's like, I'll wait for limits to go up and see what happens. I just don't want to. It's tough. It's tough to move on something that's moved to 1.5. You know, that's a big move. I think I'm not a prop better. If I bet props, it's going to be very rarely a pitcher to record a win or a pitcher over or under outs, depending on like previous game and bullpen situations and things like that. But if I was a prop better, I'd be on Big Kurtz here, Nick Kurtz to get a home run. He's crushing the ball. I think Stroman's just a wild card today. I don't see. It's hard to know what to expect. You know, if I'm going to take a stab on this game, it's going to be A's money line. But I think Severino gets hit too. But, you know, a high volatility, high scoring game, sometimes just going with the dog is the right move. And, you know, the Yankees are just up and down, man. It's so hard. Getting shut out yesterday was such a frustrating game to watch. They're good against Severino's pitch mix. Obviously, you already talked about the lefties. You covered it well, Spoons. And I don't have much more to add. Lean over, lean home run props, but nothing for me.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm leaning the over. It's just we're too late to the party on it at this point at 10.5. I mean, if you guys still have the conviction to take it at the 10.5, by all means, if you think it's going to be runs. But yeah, for me, I'm going to be off this one. If I would have gotten a 9.5, I definitely would have moved on this, but a little bit late to the party now. So I'm not going to end up moving on it. Spoons, do you have a number that you on Ben Rice for that home run?
I think 265 on BetMGM is the best I'm finding right now, and they have a boost as well. So lock me in at 265 on that Ben Rice home run. And that's not a full unit play for me or anything. I just mentioned the first week. There's a lot of people asking about home run and player props, and we don't hit on a lot of them. So I've said I'll just toss one home run prop out every week. Shout out Kyle Schwarber for coming through last week. That was a fun one.
Yeah.
I texted my buddy Jacob, who is in the chat right now. He was at the game live about 20 seconds before the ball went out. I said, incoming Schwarber home run. It was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah,
shout out to Isaac and Carlos out there throwing some donuts, blessing our action, man. Thank you guys. It means a lot. It goes a long way. Appreciate it.
Isaac and Carlos, those are my two brother-in-laws right there. So shout out to you guys for showing out and giving some donos. Appreciate that more than you guys know. And let's move. Oh, there we go. We got Spoon on the shots today, guys. I'm usually with him, but like I said, at the in-laws.
My time said he was going to have to take the day off after last night. I told him I would take on the donations.
Yeah, so Spoons is going to be handling the shots and donations today, guys. I got a beer next to me. Maybe I'll start sipping it. I need something to make me feel a little more up. This coffee ain't doing it, and the water ain't doing it. So with that being said, though, this is going to be a pass for me, guys. Let's move right on to the next one.
Real quick, one time, real quick. Sorry. If we get a scoreless first inning, I'll move on the over.
Okay.
Because I think bullpens later in the game. I think both starters are going to have short outings. So hopefully, I'm hoping for a no-run first inning and then taking over 9.5.
Okay, so we're hoping for no runs here in this first inning and then move on it live. And shout out to 2 cents that keep smashing y'all, get wine and spoons to 100. Shout out to you. Yeah, we're close there already, man. I haven't even really said to hit the like button too much times today. We're already almost at 100. Let's see how many people we've got. We've got 270 people live watching us right now on YouTube, more even on Twitter. So we've got a lot of eyes on the channel right now, guys. So let's continue.
If you're watching on X or Twitter right now, just do us a favor and come over onto YouTube. The whole chat's here. You can get involved. It's pretty interactive. They go back and forth, and we also will be shouting you out as the show continues. Yes.
So if you're over on X, come over on YouTube, guys. Hit in the comments, hit the like button. We're getting to 200 likes today. This is going to be a pass for me, though. I see my guy backstage. I think he's going to get ready for this next game here. So let's move on to the next game. We've got the Toronto Blue Jays, Eric Lauer on the mound against Walker Buehler and the Boston Red Sox. Man, it was fun watching the Angels hit this guy around last week. Let's see. We'll look at the current line right now. Man, I've been on this series. I was on the Blue Jays in game 1. I was on the Red Sox yesterday. We cashed in both the games. I want to get involved in this game in some sort of fashion here, and I think it might be with the Red Sox. I'm going to break this down with you guys a little bit more, hear what you guys have to say, because I'm a little behind today, guys. Like I said, I wasn't as prepared as I usually am. I'm still going to deliver for you guys, and we're going to get paid today. Red Sox currently sitting at a -103. Blue Jays sitting at a -107. Another pretty high total. We've got some higher totals on the board today. We've got a total of 10 at -115 to the under. Both team totals are 4.5. The Blue Jays is juiced to the over at -150. Spoons, take it away. And Jose, at any point you want to come on, my guy, to talk about this, you talk about your ball club, you're more than welcome. There he is. There he is. Jose in the flesh.
Hello, gentlemen. Nice to see you. Hello, gentlemen. Nice to see you all. TJ, Spoons, Wine. Spoons, keep going. Roll on.
All right. So we have 54% of the tickets currently on the Toronto Blue Jays and 81% of the cash. We have 65% of the tickets on the over, but only 59% of the cash. This total opened at a 9.5 over juiced. So there were 9.5s, but there's a lot of 10s on the board now. There's still a few juiced 9.5s. I think that total is not going to move based on the money. So you could probably get either side of that line if you really like. My strong lean here is to the Boston Red Sox. The weather in this game is going to be really nice. 86 degrees, wind blowing out to right. This is Fenway, so it's not blowing at the big monster. It's blowing the opposite way. And that's one of the easiest places to hit home runs in all of the majors if you can pull a ball down that line. We have official lineups out for this game. We have, for the Red Sox, leading off Romy Gonzalez, Roman Anthony, Rob Ref Snyder, Carlos Navarez, Trevor Story, Haran Duran, Rafaela, Eaton, and Sogard to finish out the lineup. And then for the Toronto Blue Jays, we have Bichette, Barger, Guerrero, Springer, Nathan Lucas, Ernie Clement, Andres Jimenez, Clase, and Heineman. I don't think Toronto has the left-handed bats to get to Walker Buehler. This is a guy that has not pitched well this season, but I think he is going to eventually find it. And the left-handed bats are really what gives him trouble. Seattle really smacked him around. Lowe got to him on Tampa Bay. Some of the Yankees bats, none of his starts look good, and I understand that on paper. But when I look at the left-handed hitters in this Toronto lineup, we're only looking at Barger, Nathan Lucas, and Andres Jimenez. Class A is a switch hitter, so he may go from the other side, but that's more of a slap hitter. Nothing I'm that worried about. On the other hand, we have Lauer, who it's really pitched well this season. This is a guy that's a little bit of a journeyman. He's a left-hander. I don't think this is a spot where he necessarily pitches that well. I think he's going to come back down to earth. He hasn't given up more than 3 earned runs in a start this season, and I don't think that's going to continue for the rest of the year. This Boston lineup, while they did just lose one of their best bats, I think they're set up pretty well to hit Lauer. I don't see any way he can continue this. Like all these numbers for Eric Lauer, this looks like a top 2 in the rotation kind of guy. This is a spot where I expect Boston bats to bounce back. I think a lot of people are going to look at Lauer's numbers and just say, wow, this is a good pitcher. And they're going to look at Buehler's numbers and say, wow, this is a bad pitcher. But baseball's a really long season, 162 games, things even out. And Walker Buehler's not going to finish this season with these terrible stats. Currently in the full season, a 6.29 ERA. I just don't believe that's the truth. And I really like the Red Sox here. I'm close to betting it. I was kind of hoping even more money would come in on Toronto and give me a nice big plus money line on Boston this morning.
Yeah. And shout out to Kyle Kerms in the chat. Appreciate you for stopping by, my guy. Appreciate all the people you brought along the way too in our chat. We appreciate it a lot, man. We got to get you up here on the show one of these days as well. Love to share the screen with you on Pub Sports Radio. So shout out to you. TJ, you got anything in Blue Jays, Boston Red Sox?
You know, I'm very close to pulling the button on the under here. Looks like it might drop to 9.5. Everybody has their doubts about Lauer, but you look at his advanced stuff, and the metrics all support, what we're seeing on the field. Going to right here, 3.36 expected, 3.77 Sierra. He's striking 25% people out, only 7% walks. It's a nice ratio there. Not throwing a lot of balls. He has gotten a little bit lucky with guys left on base. He's got a very high left on base percentage, so that regression could be coming. And he does give up fly balls. So, almost 50% fly ball rate with these conditions is a little bit scary, but I'm not really worried about much in that Boston lineup. Do I think Boston probably wins if I had to pick a side? Yes. But I think both pitchers can come out at least early and pitch well. I'm kind of looking at first 5 here, trying to debate if I want to go first 5 or full game on the under. Was looking at bullpen arms. It looks like everyone's really available. So I'm going to dig into that just a little bit more here, and then I'll let you know my decision. There's still a 5.5 out there. Give me under 5.5 first 5 minus 20 at circa.
Okay.
On that note about the bullpen, everybody in Boston's bullpen is fully rested, available to go. And same with Tampa Bay Rays, all of their good arms. Fairbanks has had 2 days off. Everybody had a day off yesterday except their long reliever. I think I really like TJ's spot here. I endorse that.
Yeah, I may just do a half unit on the first 5 and a half unit on the full game under. But for the show, we'll make the under minus 120 an official play on the 5.5 there. I don't think Toronto bats, Buehler can blow up just as easy as anyone, but Toronto bats don't scare me. You look at their last 30 numbers and they're impressive, but they're really falling off of late. So first 5 under 5.5.
Yeah, and shout out to William Craig, said, hey, guys, followed Spoons over here from Kyle's last night. Extravaganda. Love the one punch of the early lines in pregame. Shout out to you for showing out. And I know we got a guest backstage. I'm not sure if he's ready to come on or not. He can give me a thumbs up if he's ready or not. And he is a guy right here.
He's got a great shirt. He's got a great shirt on, by the way.
All right, guys, without further ado, let's bring on my good friend, one of the hottest MLB prop cappers out there right now. Man, this guy's cashing on these props, so shout out to him. Let's bring on my guy, Dabby Cap.
What up, Cap? Make it a 4.
Happy Sunday to the Walk-Off Wagers crew, man. Good to see you up here, TJ, Jose.
Dabby, let's go, Brandon Marsh.
Oh, dude. Brandon Marsh is my goat, man. I know I get a little bit of flack from you were talking about Kyle. You know, he's not the biggest fan of Brandon Marsh, but dude, you're gonna keep paying my bills like that. I'm gonna keep touting you and telling everybody that you're my favorite player in all of baseball. I mean, he's like the modern day Barry Bonds. Let's just be honest. Anyways, I'm gonna be quick, man, because you guys are rolling, and I just want to give you guys a bet here. Listen. Shout out to Nate for the shirt, by the way. Nate got me this shirt, so shout out to you, Nate.
That's awesome.
Listen, I took Vladdy, his total basis. I know it's like, okay, he's one of the best hitters in the game, not a hard thing to do. Why did I do it? I talked about it yesterday. You travel to Boston. That's a place where baseball players want to play. You want to try and hit the ball over the green monster. It's romantic. It's like it's fucking Fenway. I don't know what else to say about it, right? And Vladdy has relished that opportunity in his career. Even after going 1 for 5 yesterday and letting me down on the prop that I bet with him, he's still got a 351 batting average in 51 games in Boston. Right now, he's hitting 230 or 273 on his last 10 games. So a little bit down. But like I said, you know, that last game going 1 for 5 really hurt that average, bringing it down. I just think this is a great bounce back spot for him. And I tell everybody all the time, if you're going to bet a prop, don't bet it one time and then run away. Okay, you've got to stick with it. You've got to stay with these props if you want to bet them in baseball. So Vladdy, over 1.5 total bases, plus 110, and I'll definitely jump back on and give you guys more action today.
Appreciate you, Dabby Cap, for sharing your action, my guy. Enjoy your Sunday, and good luck on your action day, my guy.
Hell yeah, man. Keep killing it, guys. I'll bring a couple more bets up here.
Let's do it. Jose, take it away, my friend. Your Boston Red Sox against the Toronto Blue Jays.
I think this is a pretty easy Boston spot, if I'm being honest. I'm sure everyone can relate to this. Have you guys in school procrastinated, you know, a 10-page paper you just don't want to write? Another day passes, and you're now at the due date. You're like, fuck, I got to really cram and put my shit in. That's been Walker Buehler. Walker Buehler's been procrastinating, shitting his pants in his last few starts, procrastinating, just pushing it back, and now we're at the due date. This is it. People are getting healthy for the Boston Red Sox. You are extremely tradable, Walker Buehler. This is your moment. Stand up and say, no, I will not be traded. I will not go into the sweet darkness of trade land and suck for the rest of the year. Walker Buehler stands up. He has a good start. His last 2 were literally horrific. I can't. Watching the last 2 starts have made me want to just my eyes bleed. But Walker Buehler does the thing. Red Sox win today. You guys read the market. Bunch of bets and money on the Toronto Blue Jays here. Line moving towards the Red Sox. Everyone knows that's kind of the money zone. By the way, quickly, I'll just mention I'm on the Guardians with you guys as well. I bet the Guardians before the show started, right before the show started, or I guess right as the show was starting, I should say. And then I heard all the breakdowns, Troy, TJ, Spoons, everyone on the Guardians. Like, wow, fuck, I got to put a second bet on the Guardians now. So I put another unit on the Guardians, so I'm very heavily invested. And I'll quickly give you guys one more play if I'm allowed here. There's a pitcher going today that my father, Jimmy the Bag, is going to and has been fading religiously. And his name is Justin Verlander. The first 5 full game difference in that game is absurd. There's a little teaser for you guys when you guys get into it. I am on the Chicago White Sox first 5 money line there. Ooh. It's just the absurdity of the first 5 full game difference will get you guys on the White Sox. No doubt. So those are my 3 plays today. Guardians, Red Sox, both full game, and White Sox first 5. Me and Troy Torrance, simpatico today, Troy. So you and I, let's make some money. So it's going to be a good day.
All righty. I got you locked in, Jose. As for me in this game, I'm going to make my first play of the day. It seems like everyone's on the Red Sox in this spot, but I'm going to be on them here. I'm going to give them out minus 105, Boston Red Sox money line. I think Walker Buehler's going to have a good start here. I saw him walk, 7 or 8 guys in Anaheim the other day, and he gave up, I think, 4 or 5 earned runs, but like I said, he walked a lot of batters, and as long as he doesn't walk 7 batters today, I think he can pitch good against this Blue Jays lineup. You guys heard me on Friday. I said both teams are going in opposite directions. I still believe that. I just think there's going to be spots that you can take these teams, especially like the Red Sox. I've had a good ROI back in the Red Sox this year. They've done me well. I'm going to go back to the well with them in this spot. I backed this series in both games. I took the Blue Jays in game 1 and the Red Sox yesterday. I'm going to take the Red Sox money line minus 105, first official play from your boy Wine Time Sports here on Walk Off Wagers today. And we got my guy Jose locked in. Gave out 3 plays. He gave us that one-hit wonder a couple weeks ago. So he sits 1-0 on the show still, I believe.
I should just stop I should have just stopped while I was ahead, never come back on, just hit my 1-0, 100 ROI.
Call you Helga.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys,
you guys should just call me Helmy. That's all I need.
Guys, I just got
shot to help.
I'm just letting you know, if you can get a 10, get it. This thing, I just put action on about 5 different books, and I got spun everywhere, and now 9.5s are popping everywhere. So this thing is going to go close 9.5.
Yeah, I'm seeing 9.5 sitting right now, minus 110 both ways currently.
So on this game, I'm going to lock in the Boston Red Sox money line official. I can't get a 105. I just went through my books. I can get a 108. I was hoping for a better number, but the way the money has come in on this game and the line not moving, this is a perfect market telling us that Boston's right spot. I believe in it. The X's and O's make sense for me. Boston Red Sox, I'm adding to my card, official minus 108. I'll add it on X here after the show, but it's official for me here.
That's beautiful. By the way, Mally Mal
Wags in the chat. He's a very sharp capper. I've been trading lots of content back and forth, different books that really help with this kind of stuff. Sharp guy. Thanks for being here and showing out.
Well, I'll also mention Mally Mal is giving us the analytics maybe we don't need, but we actually do need. He says Verlander's going to be fine now. The birth of his son just happened. He's good. He's good. Kate Upton's no longer pregnant. He's fine, ready to go now.
How big did they get when she was pregnant?
Who knows? But I'd be interested to find out. But Mally Mal, shout out to you for that information here, and shout out to you guys. Good luck today. Let's go a quick 3-0. And TJ, how about you move these lines a little bit for us? We could all just laugh at these books being crippled by your might here.
Let's go. Shout out to Jose on the 1s and 2s. Shout out to him for giving out a couple of his plays, sharing his action. Always appreciated. And someone said that's not Verlander's baby. That's Stacks just said that. Well fed, baby. Oh, man. All right, let's move on to the next game. I've got action in this one, so I'm excited for this Boston Blue Jays game. I don't have action in this next game. Who knows? Maybe I start adding some more plays here. Let's go right to it, guys. Let's go to the Atlanta Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies. We've got Ranger Suarez on the mound here for the Phillies, who are sitting at a plus 145, plus 150, depending on where you're looking. Braves sitting around a minus 160 right now. We've got a total of 8 in this ball game. Man, the Phillies were, what was it? Was it yesterday that the Phillies were, that you took the Phillies at plus 150, I think it was, Spoons? Or was that 2 days ago with Mick Abel?
It was 2 days ago with Mick. Mick didn't even start. He warmed up for 3 hours, and they came in with the bullpen. As soon as the game started, my heart dropped, and then the Phillies put a bunch of runs up, and I was like, yes.
Saw that, yeah. that was the other parlay piece for me, actually, on Friday was Yankees-Braves, and Braves just – it was never close. That line made no sense either. But with that being said, we got Spencer Strider on the mound against Ranger Suarez. Spoons, take it away. Do you have anything in this Phillies-Braves game?
I do not. There's high volatility involved with this game, in my opinion. I'll get back to that, but just hitting on the market, we have 83% of the tickets on the under, 93% of the money. This total opened at an 8.5. It has not come down anywhere. I see it's juiced a little bit to the under now at some spots, but you can still get flat 8.5s. 53% of the tickets have come in on the Atlanta Braves and 59% of the cash. This line opened up minus 135 and plus 115. as you're saying, we can see minus 160s, minus 165s even across the board for the Atlanta Braves. So there's a lot of respect for Spencer Strider. This is a pitcher that we all should have a lot of respect for. He came into the majors and just really showed us right off the bat that he has the ability to pitch well here. But he's coming back from getting an internal brace in his pitching arm, and that's something that's really slowed up a lot of really good pitchers in the past. They have to learn how to throw all over again. The control they used to have is not the same. And Spencer Strider is just a 2-pitch guy. He doesn't have anything else. Each pitch is plus. Like when the slider's on, it's so hard to hit. And that fastball, he can really locate it very well when he's on. I personally think the books are telling us that Strider's going to pitch well and that this is an Atlanta Braves spot here. Ranger Suarez has exceeded my expectations for him on this season by quite a bit. He's got a .58 whip versus left-handed hitters. That is disgusting. I think this is a guy that's not going to continue to pitch this well. We look back at his last 4 starts, 7 innings pitched versus Pittsburgh, only 2 earned runs, 7 innings pitched versus Toronto and 0 earned runs, 7 innings pitched versus Miami, just the 1 earned, and 7 2/3 versus Houston, just the 1 earned. I look at his history this season. I see him blanking a lot of bad lineups. He got absolutely smoked by Arizona. And I just thought that would continue to happen more throughout the season. And I think the line's telling you that Suarez is going to have a bad game here today. He's a guy that doesn't live above the 95 pitch spot very often, but in those last 4 games, he's had to be there every single game. And we're getting close to the All-Star break. Some of these pitchers' arms are going to start getting tired. Some of the people that we think are overperforming will show us that they have been overperforming. And over that course of the season, I think we're going to have some spots to fade Suarez. I think the spot to fade him was last night before this line moved 25 cents. And I'm not going to try to piggyback on it now, but I really believe this is a Braves spot. The weather here, really nice day, 90, high 80s, low 90s, wind blowing out to left. Ballpark Pal has this modeled at 0% runs, so no difference, but plus 11% home runs. And I just think this is a spot where Suarez cannot keep pitching this well. I don't believe in it. I'd rather see Mick Abel have that spot.
Yeah, and shout out to Big Show in the chat. He said 260 live and over 100 hit the likes. Yep, welcome to the new Fire Show on Pub Sports Radio. Appreciate you, Big Show, all the support that you've given us along the way, all the tips you've given us along the way as well. I appreciate you. My guy TC, yeah, dude, Walk Up Wages is a new hot show. And he also said, and we can all say we were here from the beginning. Shout out to you, my guy. Appreciate you guys for showing out. We've got almost 300 people in the building right now, guys. Let's hit the like button. We're at 112 likes, I believe. Let's get to 200 likes.
Just one more note on this Phillies lineup. Bryce Harper is waiting in the wings. I expect him to be back in the lineup tomorrow. So if you're starting to look at lines and you're looking at, the Phillies are kind of priced a little differently, I think that would mean that he's definitely in the lineup. He's been taking batting practice, been doing everything to get back on track. They had some hopes for this series, but I think it was pretty clear at the beginning that they were kind of hoping for Monday. So just want to throw that out there. He's a big addition to this lineup. This Phillies lineup is a very good lineup.
Yeah, it's one of the deepest lineups in baseball when Harper's healthy. This is going to be a pass game for me. TJ, do you have anything in this game? Anything you want to mention? Anything you want to add to this?
I am not as I kind of disagree with Spoons on the plight of Ranger Suarez. I don't see any reason for regression.
No, I see in the chat people are saying Cy Young candidate. That's just me.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. But 2.55 xERA, 3.53 Sierra, 23% K, 6% walks. I mean, he's been elite on the road. He's got like a 1.04 ERA. The Braves don't hit lefties. I mean, they're not hitting anyone in the last week, last month. Bottom 6 in baseball. Last 14 versus lefties, bottom 3 or 4 in baseball. At home, bottom 10 in baseball. On the full season, lefty starters have a 3.05 ERA, 1.17 WHIP. And I mean, we're talking about David Peterson. Okay, 7 innings, 3 runs. That was a good start. Gomber, no runs in 5 innings. DL Hall, 2. Crochet had 1. They faced some tough ones. Sanchez, 2 runs. Suarez, 0. Parker twice. Heaney. there's nothing there that makes me confident in Atlanta at the price. I agree. I think Strider is finding. I agree with what you guys said. Strider's finding his rhythm here. He looks to be better. I don't trust the Phillies bats. I would love to get an under 4, but it's just too pricey. So I'm going to pass on this one. Under or nothing.
Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with you on the under in this spot. I wish I could get an 8.5. I'm getting an 8 right here. Let me check my other book really quick. Oh, I can get an 8.5 actually. 8.5 right now, minus 118. I might consider this. It's going to be. It doesn't correlate enough for me to move on this right now, but I do like both these pitchers on the mound, and I do think the Braves are live to win this game. Seen the line movement towards them here in this spot towards Spencer Strider, so I definitely lean towards that way. It's going to be a pass for me though in this game, guys. Anything else you guys want to mention in here before we move on to Tampa Bay and Baltimore?
I think if it's a close game late or the Braves are down by 1 after 6 or something, that's a good live bet just because of the Phillies bullpen problems and the Braves got a good one.
Yeah.
There's some plus money. You'll get some plus money there.
I like it. Let's move on then. Let's move right on to the Tampa Bay Rays against the Baltimore Orioles here in Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. We've got the Rays currently sitting at dogs at plus 105. Baltimore Orioles currently sitting as the favorites at minus 115. Taj Bradley against Dylan Kramer. I've backed Bradley at certain times this year. I think he's a good pitcher. I think he passed the eye test. I just think there's times he does get lit up though. But I do like Taj Bradley. I like the X's and O's from him from a pitching standpoint. I like it from the eye test. I like this Rays team. You guys have heard me talk so highly about this Rays team all season long. I got them at plus 700 to win the division 9 days ago on Jimmy's show. Gave them and the Blue Jays both out at plus 700. And the lines, I think we're down to like a plus 400, down to a plus 350 now. So shout out to the Rays and the kind of baseball that they've been playing. Just seems a little bit fishy to me, though. Why are the Baltimore Orioles favored here in this spot? At the same time, though, they've been favorites in spots that they really shouldn't be, and they don't capitalize in those situations. This is a really tough cap right here between these two teams. I had nothing going into this game, and I would never be on the other side of the Tampa Bay Rays the way they're playing baseball. Spoons, do you have anything in this Kramer-Bradley matchup?
So I wanted to move on the Tampa Bay Rays in this spot. I agree with you that Taj Bradley is a good pitcher. If we look at some of his numbers, I don't know if they necessarily reflect that. He gave up 6 earned runs in less than 2 innings versus this Baltimore lineup just a couple of weeks ago on the 18th. And on the opposite side, Kramer, he blanked this Tampa Bay lineup. He gave up 1 earned in 5 innings pitched, but that's in that little park down there in Tampa Bay. And coming out of there with 1 earned versus any decent lineup is a very strong start. So one thing Jimmy's always mentioned is just the inverse effect of these pitchers. Like they'll have one good game versus a lineup, and then if you see them again, you'll kind of see the opposite happen. And we see one pitcher that had a great game and one pitcher that had a bad game. And it would make sense to me that the public would want to have the pitcher that had the good game, and that's Dylan Kramer. Looking at this Tampa Bay lineup, we do see that one of their bigger bats, Cam Marino, is not in the lineup, but everybody else is there. Lowe, Lau, Yandy Diaz, Arenado, Jake Magnum, Curtis Mead, Taylor Walls, Simpson, and Jansen. Everybody's in for the Baltimore lineup. I don't see any big bats immediately sticking out at me that are not in there. Henderson. Oh, so the catcher's not going to be in today. Rutschman, obviously. So I like the Rays here. This is a spot where the market doesn't necessarily back that up. I can almost get a plus 100 with the Rays right now. And I don't know. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. This team's really hot, but they have to give you some confusion as bookmakers. I don't know. If I was pricing this, it would be more expensive to the Rays. And since it's not, it makes me just have a lot of questions. One thing I noted with Taj Bradley is he's pitched a ton of games in Florida this year. He's pitched against Miami twice, and in that little boombox in Tampa Bay over and over again. On his road starts, he's looked amazing. He didn't give up a run to Kansas City in 6 2/3. He gave up no runs to the New York Mets lineup. He gave up just 2 runs to the Minnesota lineup in 7 innings pitched. That was a home start. I'm sorry, but I think this is a spot where Taj Bradley just performs a lot better on the road. One thing I noted it's really hot and humid here today in Baltimore. It's going to feel like over 100 degrees. They have the temperature listed at 92. So that's going to be the high humidity is kind of carrying that. I think I see around 50% in the area. And a lot of that kind of reflects that Florida weather that I think maybe kind of made Taj Bradley uncomfortable. And I'm not sure if that's a spot I want to get to him in the market, not reflecting it. It's just keeping me off. We have 64% of the tickets on Tampa Bay Rays, but only 50% of the cash. 62% of the tickets on the under and 95% of the cash on the over. So there's some definite big money bettors, sharp people that have been hammering this over. It was a juiced over 9.5, and you can still get those 9.5. So they're not really respecting that sharp money. Kind of tells me the under is the play in this game because I believe in Taj Bradley. I think Kramer can probably pitch well again. This is a guy that has pitched even better at home than he has on the road. And I don't know, maybe he hasn't faced the best lineups, but I think that Dean Kramer can probably pitch well here. My only strong lead now at this point would be to the under. I want to get the Rays, but it doesn't make sense how it's priced, and the books don't give away money. There's no broke books, so I'm just going to be off this game.
Yeah, it's going to be a pass for me too. TJ, anything in this ballgame?
Yeah, my favorite look of the day is the under here. I was in the Discord last night, Kerms, talking about it. I said, bet it under 10 because it's going to close at 9. I don't care about all the action on the over. I love that all the cash is on the over, and it's moving down on sharp exchanges right now. It's 9. That's going to be an indication that it's going there. So I'm fading the market here, going under. I love Kramer at home. And on the year, 2.90 ERA, 106 whip at home, 35% chase rate. I respect the bounce back, right? I respect, and typically I would cap that way, but I think a lot of it has to do with his pitch mix, and he only throws the fastball. It's his most thrown pitch, 25%. But it's the soft stuff, or the breaking stuff here, the splitter, the sinker, the curve, the cutter, and that's where the Rays aren't as good. I know they're hot, but if he can bring that fastball frequency down, which I think pretty sure he did in his last start against Tampa, and go with more of that those other pitches, I think he can hold down this lineup. And even if Tampa can get 4 or 5 here, I still like the under. That big third baseman Caminera's out, Rutschman's out. So, and another thing I've noticed is these day games really hot. You see a lot of short at bats. Guys are swinging at the first thing they can swing at. It's hot out there. Both these teams travel after today, so all of that adds up to me to an under. I would still take the under 9.5, but I'm sitting happy with a under 10.
All right, TJ's sitting there with an under 10. Yeah, I'm seeing a 9.5 right now, juice to the under at minus 120. We're going to see some 9s here. I'm guessing in the next hour or so. So TJ's favorite look on the board, under 10. What was the juice you got on that, TJ?
I think it was -1. Let me pull it up. It was right on the opener, -113.
All right. Under 10, -113. TJ is locked in. Spoons, did you give out any? You didn't give out an official play in this one, did you?
I don't. I'm really jealous of that 10. I heard him mention it last night, and I feel stupid for not just moving on it then. I absolutely love seeing all the money on the opposite side of that. It makes so much sense to me. That half run, though, I do feel like will be valuable, and I don't want to sit there and not get the push when I should have.
All right. Let's move on to this next ball game, though, guys. I'm going to let you guys intro. I'm going to step away for a minute or two here. San Diego Padres against the Cincinnati Reds here. We're currently sitting at Padres +120, Reds -130 here. We've got a total a little bit higher. Like we said, we got a lot of 9.5s today and 10s, 9.5 at -115 to the under. Spoons, take it away. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Cincinnati Reds versus San Diego Padres. Hey, Jose, could you go ahead? Thank you very much. We got Stephen Kolek on the mound and Nick Lodolo on the other side. Looking for the market numbers in this really quick. We have 69% of the tickets currently come in on the that's the wrong name. 58% of the tickets have come in on Cincinnati and 59% of the cash. We have 52% of the tickets on the over and 79% of the cash on the over. The books have respected that cash because it opened at a 9, and we see 9.5s across the board at this point. This line hasn't moved a ton. 15. This is a spot where I really like Cincinnati. I'm looking at Stephen Kolek, and I don't think this is a guy that's going to be long for the major leagues. I don't think his pitch mix really plays that well versus a lot of teams, and I think that's why he gets hit so hard versus lefties. And you can't not pitch well to lefty bats in the major leagues. You can get away with it in the minors because there's just so many more righties that are out there just based on the numbers. I look at some of Kolek's starts, and the one that really jumps out at me is the 9-inning pitched, 0 earned run shutout at Colorado. And that's a really offensive park. There's only a few parks kind of in that breadth, and Great American is one of them. So if you can show the ability to pitch well in that thin air in Colorado, I think a lot of people would believe you could probably do it here in Great American as well. But sometimes you have exceptions that prove the rule, and that's what I feel that 9 innings pitch was. It's an outlier. I can cross it off, and I can look at all of his other starts. I think this guy's just a terrible pitcher. A 1.85 whip to lefties. There's not a ton of lefties in this Cincinnati lineup. I understand that, but the ones that are there are some of the bats that I trust the most, and that's TJ Friedl, Ellie De La Cruz. We also have Gavin Lux and Will Benson starting today. You got that really hot rookie Matt McLean hitting in the 2-hole, Austin Hayes hitting 4, Spencer Steer at 6. They're doing a great job of alternating this, so Stephen Kolek can't get comfortable on the mound, and just because he has a little better numbers versus righties, it's a 4.15 xFIP, and I think these Reds bats can really do some damage. I'm not going to actually get there with my money. I don't believe it's a really nice day here in Cincinnati. 86 degrees temperature wise. The humidity is going to make it feel a lot warmer, probably 95 or so is what they have the feels like temperature at. The bullpens for Cincinnati, they only had to use Scott Barlow yesterday. So Scott Barlow and their lower leverage arms. Brent Suter is the only other arm that I kind of like, but Emilio Pagan, Tony Santillan, Taylor Rogers, all available. And on the other side, we have the San Diego Padres, who just got Robert Suarez back from that short suspension. He pitched 22 yesterday. Morjan, their setup man, went 11, and Jason Adam, their other setup man, went 15. So I think everything sort of favors Cincinnati, in my opinion, but all those arms that pitched haven't gone on back-to-back days or anything, so they'll still be available. I just generally don't like a reliever on his second day back-to-back unless it's a guy I have a ton of faith or respect in. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to be able to get there to the ticket window with this, but Nick Lodolo is a guy that's really shown the ability to pitch well in this very offensive park. I mean, this place was built for Ken Griffey to make home run records, and it's really been tough on Cincinnati pitchers over the years trying to get decent careers because you have to rely completely on your road starts. And Nick Lodolo has been able to pitch well at home. He only gave up 2 earned runs to Minnesota in 6 innings pitched. He gave up 3 to Arizona in 6, 3 to the Cubs in 5 innings. Arizona and the Cubs are 2 of the strongest lineups in baseball when they're healthy. To only give up a few runs to them in this ballpark, I think the Reds are going to be in a really good spot when Nick Lodolo leaves this game because they're asking so much of Stephen Kolek. The more I talk about it, the more I want to bet the Reds, but it's still not on my card. TJ, I know you don't agree with my Reds take on this. Can you talk me off so I don't put my money on the Cincinnati Reds today?
You know, it's not necessarily that I don't agree. I think it's that the Reds, when they seem like the play, are never the play. A couple counter arguments would be Kolek. You know, I agree. I don't think he's this great starter. But, you know, his first 2 outings, no runs. Then 3 games he gets lit up. Then he shuts out San Fran and Milwaukee. And then he gets lit up in 3 straight by good offenses other than Washington. Now, he's pitched 3 home games, and in all 3 of those, that's where his worst numbers come from. So maybe he feels the pressure of pitching in front of the home fans, and when he gets out on the road, he pitches better because his road ERA is a 2.13 with a 1.2 whip. xFIP's a little high. Doesn't get a lot of swinging strikes and gives up a lot of hard hits. So maybe he's getting lucky there. You know, even if we throw out that Colorado start, he's still been solid enough on the road. I do think Lodolo has a good. Yeah, I do think Lodolo. Everything points to a good start here. I can't stand this San Diego offense. Why aren't they better? it seems like whatever team I back in this situation, I get it wrong. So I immediately see this game, and it's two teams that I can, I track everything I do, and I'm like sub 40% on both of these teams this year, which immediately says total or nothing. I would lean under, but it's very hard to take an under in Cincinnati. So just a lot of mixed signals here. I don't hate a Cincinnati bet. It's just not for me. I think the price is cheap. I think with that ballpark, you go -1 and you make it plus money. But
yeah, the -130 is probably just too much to really get on it. But I don't know. I think I'm just going to stay off of this game. I appreciate your opinion on it. It's one of those spots. It's a complete fait accompli, and the Padres have a really good bullpen. I mentioned that they had some arms that had recently went, but this is one of the most loaded bullpens, in my opinion, of just actually having talent back there. So even if Kolek doesn't have that great of a start, they have an offense that can get him back in any game. And Nick Lodolo, while I said he's pitched well at home, he's probably due to get well at home. So hit at home at one point. So I'm just going to stay off of this game. We can move on to the next game, which is a game I do have a play in. It's the Chicago Cubs versus the Houston Astros. I think this might even be my favorite spot on the board. I'll start with the market in this game. We have 53% of the tickets currently come in on the under and 69% of the cash on the over. So the sharps don't agree with the public there. Nothing new, but the 7.5 that opened is still there in a lot of books, but you do see a few 8s that have popped up, kind of some public places. So I think they are respecting that sharp over money here. 64% of the tickets have come in on Houston, and 83% of the cash has come in on the Chicago Cubs. This line is down to, I think the best spot I see is a -145 right now. So definitely some sharp people are on the Chicago Cubs here today. I don't agree with that. I'm on Houston -1. I can get you the line. I tweeted it out at Houston -1, -108. This is a spot where I just think Jameson Taillon is liable to get hit. He's a guy that's pitched really well versus lefties, a whip under 1, an xFIP under 3.75. But versus righties, he's gotten touched a lot more, a 4.75x whip and a 1.3 whip. If we look at Houston's bats, you don't have to worry about lefty bats here. This is just righty bats that we worry about when we're talking about when we're talking about Houston. Paredes, Myers, Altuve, Cam Smith, Yanier Diaz, Victor Caratini, Christian Walker, and Mauricio Dubon will all hit from the right-hand side today. I expect just one lefty in there. So Jameson Taillon's strength, he doesn't really get to use it here. And on the opposite side of this, we got Framber Valdez pitching at home. This is one of my favorite pitchers to back in their home stadium. And not only that, it's a consecutive home start. When I get to stack a consecutive home start for a guy I really trust, it's going to be hard for me not to just put my money on it. At home this year, he gave up 1 earned to Seattle. He gave up, and that was in 6 innings. He gave up 1 earned to Tampa Bay. That was in 9 innings. He gave up 2 earned to the White Sox, and that was in 5 innings. And both of those 2 earned came off of 1 hit. And then he blanked the Philadelphia Phillies at home, 7 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. It's the guy that if he doesn't like the batter that's on the mound, he will go ahead and put him on first base, and he will throw a pitch that's going to induce a ground ball. This is a guy that relies heavily on his sinker, and it's one of the best sinkers in the major leagues. One thing I've always noticed with this guy, especially when he's in Houston, he sweats and he sweats. And I think he finds a way to use that sweat as an advantage to help get a little extra spin on the ball in kind of an old school way. He's really impressive to me. I know these Cubs bats are bats that everybody likes, but if we look at them versus left-handed pitching, I think we need to kind of like deeper dive into that, because over the last 30 days, they're in the bottom third of baseball in just about any hitting category, whether it be weighted on base average or OPS. I think this is a spot where they're going to struggle versus another lefty. They only got 2 earned off Libator in 7 innings. They got 3 off Heaney in 6. They only got 1 off Luzardo, who was pitching very poorly at the time, in 6. Tariq Skubal gave up 1, almost went 8 innings versus them. They didn't get a run off Mackenzie Gore. They didn't get a run off Lodolo or Abbott. Like, I know we like the Chicago bats. I'm a big Chicago fan, but I don't think they match up well versus lefties. And if there's one thing about Framber Valdez, I think he can I think he can really cool down the two biggest bats in this lineup, and that's Kyle Tucker and Pete Crow Armstrong. Neither of them are that good against lefties, and Valdez just has the pitch mix to be able to go in there. It would be nice if he had a slider for Pete Crow Armstrong, because that guy, if you throw him a slider outside of the zone from a lefty pitcher, it's embarrassing swing time. He swings at more pitches outside of the zone than anybody in baseball. Clearly had the same hitting coach as Javi Baez along the way. Like to get rid of that guy in the minor leagues. I just don't see the Chicago Cubs being able to stay competitive in this game if Tyone has a bad game. And that's what I think will happen. I think Tyone's best look here today is only giving up 3 earned, and I could see that 3 earned skyrocketing to 6 earned pretty quick. The way that you stack these righties is just not going to make Tyone ever feel comfortable. And like I already said, Valdez woke up very comfortable. This is his routine. He did it last week, pitched very well. I think we're going to get a lot of opportunities to back at him at home, and you'll notice a pattern with my card that it's going to be on it every time he's at home. Dakin Park here is projected as the lowest run value by ballpark pallets at minus 7% runs. This stadium plays with a roof on it, so the weather doesn't affect it all that much. It's just relatively pitcher friendly, and like our guy Sharpie kind of has noted with Phillies and the Sanchez home starts, they kind of manicure the lawn and the grass just a little bit differently for that ground ball pitcher, and they do the same thing here in Houston. And Tyone's not a guy that's going to be able to take care of that or take advantage of that, and Framber will. I see so many spots that I just like Houston. That -1, I'm happy taking it. TJ,
what do you
have anything on this game?
Go ahead, Jose.
Well, no, I want to hear your thoughts, because I was leaning Cubs personally, so I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I bet this last night on the open over 7.5 is what I took here, thinking it'd be closing around 8. Rambler's great, and I don't blame anyone that wants to back him every home start at all. But I will say I think there is a little bit of regression coming, not a lot. His number, his service ERA 2.08, or I'm sorry, 2.88. His expected is a whole run over that. Dig into that what you like. He's a ground ball pitcher, and his opponents he's faced, Philly not hitting lefties, Athletics not hitting lefties, White Sox, Pittsburgh, Tampa back in May not hitting lefties, Seattle not hitting lefties. This is a little bit more of a test for him. Not to say that the Cubs are crushing lefties, but they are definitely an above average team. The Cubs like the soft stuff. They like the sinker and they like the curveball. Number 2 in baseball against both those pitches. That makes up almost 80% of what Framber throws. Now, do I think the Cubs get more than 3 off him? No. But I think 2 to 3 is within reason. And if I can get 2 to 3 out of the Cubs off Rambler, I'm confident that this goes over 7.5, because I really don't trust Tyon on the other side. Righties get to him, and we know what this Houston lineup is full of, righties. He's been getting lit up all over the place. His expected numbers are worse than his service numbers as well, so more regression coming. And you can look back and see what the Astros are doing against righties, but nobody quite that they faced quite has the same splits where they struggle against righties like Tyon has. So I kind of throw those out the window. I think 7.5 is just too low here. So I'm going over that just based off a little bit of regression for Rambler. Still a good start. And I like Houston to get to Tyon here. I could not endorse a Cubs money line. If I had to pick a side, it'd be Houston, Jose. Sorry.
Oh, no. I'm glad I didn't bet on anything there. Let's bring on some guests here real quick. We have waiting on the wings here. I'm excited to hear this next guy. He hasn't played a game we already talked about, but we already know what it is here. It's Am I Muted himself. It's Mr. Dabby Cab joining the program. Dabby, nice to see you again.
Don't we already know what it is, man? And there's too many people on screen anyways, so I'm going to give the bet and I'm going to be quick. Look, I pulled it up because we're sitting here and everybody's marsh. And I made the comment about a modern day Barry Bonds. Look, Barry Bonds is the best hitter of all time. Come at me. I don't care what you say about it. There is no other Barry Bonds, and there never will be. Obviously, I'm joking, but Brandon Marsh is 5 for 15 off Spencer Strider. How the hell am I not going to bet Brandon Marsh today if I've been cashing on him? And we're getting plus 140 for over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, and plus 200 for total bases. So I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing. I'm going to invest 1.3 units on it. I got a unit on the hits, runs, RBIs, and I got 0.3 on the total bases. 333 average off Strider. We're getting a ton of value because the total's low and everybody thinks he's going to deal. Yeah, I'm fucking betting it. We're in. Let's cash Mars again, baby. Let's go. I got more action. I'll be back, guys. Keep killing it.
Let's go, Cab.
Beautiful. Cab does that. And with that, let's bring on our next guest.
Stacks.
Justin McKelvey joins the program. Justin, I hope you have action because I brought you up without knowing what game you're on.
That's because you don't follow me on Twitter. That's why.
That's not true.
It is. But yeah, I do got to play. And TJ everybody pretty much said it for me. I'm on Jose Altuve over 1.5 bases plus 114. That's stats play today, number one. I love him against righties. That's just all I got to say about it.
Beautiful.
And I'm only giving out one play today because I don't ever win on this show. So one play, one winner.
1-0 day for Justin McKelvey. Wine, it's nice to see you back. Did you have thoughts on Astros Cubs?
Nothing for me in this game. I do have a lean towards the Astros and Framber Valdez. If I was, guns ahead in this game, I would do it. Apologies, guys. Like I said, the tequila got me a little too hard last night. Man.
Well, we're glad you're alive, Weinstein. You're glad you're
alive.
I
don't drink tequila.
Deacon Mike had Taco Bell as the culprit.
Yeah. Nasty Nate has always told me it's tequila instead of tequila. So shout out to
I drank it on my birthday. It was 2 days before I was cool.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So Spoons, you're on Astros -1. Justin on the bases there. Our guy TJ leaned Astros, and Wine Time Sports is in recovery with the IV in his vein right there. So beautiful.
Powerade and Subway.
Powerade and Subway. It solves it all there.
It does.
That's beautiful. All right, let's keep rolling then.
Let's do it, guys. Let's move on to this next ball game here, guys.
I'm out, though. That's all I wanted to give out one play.
Hey, Stacks, thank you very much for hopping on every week. We really appreciate it. I know you're
No
going to win
problem.
this week.
Absolutely. I better.
Shout out to our guys, Stacks, Justin McKelvey, man. I appreciate him for coming on, giving out his action. Appreciate everyone coming on, giving out their action as well. Not sure if TJ, I know he's only available for a certain time of the show today, so I appreciate him for coming on along as well. Without further ado, let's move on to our next game here. Colorado Rockies. We got Herman Marquez on the mound against the Milwaukee Brewers and Chad Patrick. Let's see what our line currently looking at. Brewers a big favorite here at -230, as they should be. Rockies currently sitting at a +205 on the money line. A +1.5, still plus money at +100. We've got a total of 8.5 juice to the under at -120. Spoons, this is, I don't know if you have a play in this game, but do you have any information on the market? And also if the weather is going to have anything to do with this game?
Yeah, so we have 65% of the tickets on the under, 59% of the cash on the under, 77% of the tickets on the Milwaukee Brewers, and 71% of the cash on the Brewers. When you look at the money line, that means there's some sharps on the side of the Rockies, and you probably will always see that with some big numbers in baseball. We had this total open at a 9 juice to the under, and it followed by moving to 8.5 just about everywhere I see. So this line open -250 or so. There's some books that you can get almost a -228 on the side of the Milwaukee Brewers, and I think that's a lot of respect to Herman Marquez. It's probably because his last 3 games have been really good. We're talking 0 earned versus the Dodgers, 0 earned versus Washington, just 1 versus Atlanta. This is a guy that's has to pitch in one of the worst parks in baseball. So when you can get him out on the road, you got to assume that he's going to pitch better. And don't look now, but the Rockies bats are also live on the road. They're 10th in baseball in weighted runs created, plus 8th in OPS over the last 2 weeks. I think they can get to Chad Patrick. This is a guy that doesn't give me a lot of faith. He gave up 5 earned runs to the Atlanta Braves. He gave up 4 to the Cubs and 4 to the Pittsburgh in his last 3 starts. And that comes with a lot of base runners in each game, averaging almost 10 base runners. The Rockies are a hard team to try to back. They're kind of disgusting, in my opinion. But when you get like a +2 in baseball at a bettable price, if we calculate every game that's ever been played since the 1800s, so many of these games, I would say probably 70% of the games are decided by less than 2 runs. And if you can get a +2 at a bettable price, I have such a hard time not taking it. I have a lot of action on the board already. I'm not going to make it official. I really want to. I think on a different day with different card, I might find this as a better game. But I think German Marquez actually is a decent pitcher, and he's just stuck in a park where he can't really do all that much. He uses a knuckle curve as his most used pitch, and I love pitchers who pitch backwards. This is a trend that started in MLB, maybe not 10 years ago, but maybe 5 years ago. I mentioned it the other day with Clayton Kershaw when he switched his pitch mix from being a fastball heavy guy to a slider heavy guy. And what they're doing by that is all your good hitters in baseball are really good at hitting fastballs. And if you take away the pitch that they're looking for and make them aware that the pitch that they don't want to hit is the one they're going to see the most, that's going to make them psychologically try to gear up for that knuckle curve or that slider in Kershaw's appearance. Hitters that don't hit those balls well, even if they gear up for them, they're going to do what the pitcher wants. And generally that's swing and miss or pop it up kind of thing. And I think Marquez matches up pretty decently versus these Brewer bats. I got a friend on the other channel, Trevor, who's a huge Brewers fan, and he's really pointed out to me how good this offense is. 5th in weighted runs created plus over the last 30 days in all categories versus right-handed pitching over the last 2 weeks. They're 4th in baseball. And at home over the last 2 weeks, they're 8th in baseball. So I'm just not going to try to get in the way of it, but I think Rockies +2 is the bet that should be made in this game.
Rockies +2. You heard it here from my guy Spoons. I have a lean towards the under here in this spot, Spoons. We're seeing an 8.5 right now, juice to the under at -120. It opened up at a -110. I trust both of these pitchers today against both of these lineups. The way I look at these, I want to see if the lineups are officially posted. Milwaukee Brewers do have their official lineup posted right now. Let me look at the Rockies. I'm going to move on, guys. I've got a light card today. I've got a really extremely light card today, and I want to move on some action, and I think this is a good spot for an under. I think both these pitchers are going to go out there and pitch well. It is going to be a hot day out there, but I'm going to dare that both these batting orders could score 9 runs today. I'm going to move on it right now, guys. Rockies, Brewers, under 8.5. I got -120 currently. I'm going to post the play on my book and then tweet it out. But yeah, that's going to be my second official play today, guys. Rockies, Brewers, under 8.5, -120. I think both these pitchers are going to go out there and pitch well. Can you read me off the weather report again, Spoons?
Yeah, sure thing. I don't think I actually hit on that in this game. Gotta pull it back up. We have Rockies and Brewers at American Family Field today. Temperatures will be between 87 and 91. Humidity is not out of control or anything, so it's going to feel like low 90s. Wind blowing in a little bit from right field towards home plate, and that's about 8 to 9 miles an hour. Our friends over at Ballpark Pal have this modeled at plus 3% runs overall and plus 14% home runs today. That's not a huge anything to be too worried about. I think it's just from the actual weather or the actual temperature that you see the plus 3% runs and the home run factor being higher. This is a field that will play more offensive friendly as the temperatures continue to warm up through the season, but it's been pretty pitcher friendly at this point.
Yeah, mark me official, guys. It's going to be my second play today. Milwaukee Brewers, Colorado Rockies, under 8.5, -120. I am locked and loaded. Let's move on to this next game, guys. Shout out to everyone in the chat, too, guys. Appreciate you guys for showing out, man, showing all the love. Right now, we've got we're sitting just below 150 likes, I believe, guys. We might have even have hit that point. I'm refreshing it. So shout out to you guys for showing out. We've got 240 people in the building right now. 147 likes. Shout out to Raul in the chat. That's a new name. Mally Mal, my guy. Vincent Hawkins, Prime VA 757, Wager Detective, my guy right there. Appreciate all the support on from you on X as well. David Redlin, shout out to you as well, my guy. And let's move on to this next game here as I pull it up. Okay, so we've got the LA Dodgers. We're at the Dodgers. Yeah, Dodgers Royals. We got Chris Bubic on the mound. I don't even have this available at my book right now. I was just looking for it. I don't even have. Oh, I do have a line available. What am I talking about here? Dodgers currently sitting at a -127. Is it Trevino on the mound for the Dodgers? I believe he is listed for them. They are sitting at a -127 against the Kansas City Royals in Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. Royals are sitting at a +115 to a +120, depending on where you're looking. We've got a total at 9, -115 to the over. Spoons, take it away, my guy. Do you have anything in this game?
So I saw this open at a pick'em to the Kansas City Royals with Chris Bubic on the mound. This is a guy that he's pitched extraordinarily well. His only bad game of the season came against the New York Yankees, and that gives me a little pause because I hold these Dodgers bats in the same breath and probably quite a bit ahead of the Yankees because I really feel like the Yankees, if you can get Aaron Judge out with some pitchers, you don't really have to worry about that much more in the lineup, but that's not necessarily true with the Dodgers. This is a very deep lineup. I hold a lot of pause. Looking at this game last night, there was no official opener or starter or anything like that. I expect the majority of the innings to be pitched by their long reliever, Robleski. He hasn't pitched in 5 days, and he went 86 on that day. So Trevino is going to be an opener for Robleski, and then after that, the Dodgers bullpen is pretty worked. Tanner Scott's pitched 2 of the last 3 days. Vesia didn't pitch yesterday, but he pitched the day before that. Banda and Garcia have both pitched on back-to-back days. So I don't think Scott's going to be a pitcher they'd like to get in the rotation today, and that's their closer. So that means Kirby Yates is going to probably be relied on in that closer role. And that puts a righty on the mound for quite a bit of this, for the end of this game. But the issue I have here is just the Kansas City Royals versus lefties, and that's Robleski. I think he'll probably pitch pretty decent against this Royal lineup, and it was just enough to keep me off. But when I saw a -110 line to Bubic, it made me pause because I think that's a ton of respect, and the books know a lot. They're not trying to give away money, and they know people love to bet the Dodgers. So when you throw a pick'em number out there for the Dodgers, it can only be to fish money from the LA side, and I'm never going to be the person taking that bait. The Dodgers hit Chris Bubic's pitch mix so well. The season numbers, this guy throws a four-seam 38% of the time. The Dodgers are number 1 in baseball at hitting that four-seam. He throws a slider 35% of the time. The Dodgers are number 2 in baseball versus that slider. And then the changeup, it's his 3rd most used pitch. The Dodgers are 4th in baseball versus a changeup. And we talk about like park-adjusted numbers, things like that. This is a guy that pitches in a pretty pitcher-friendly field down there in Kauffman. It's really hard to hit home runs, and I think maybe some of his numbers are just a result of that on the season, and it wasn't enough to get me there with the Royals. I really want to do it. I don't like the Dodgers, and I'm just not trying to go off my bias or anything here to make bets. I just want to use numbers that statistically back it up and find spots.
Yeah. So no, this is going to be a no play for my guy Spoons here. This is going to be a no play for me here. I don't want to have anything to do with this here in this spot.
Is that you or me? I don't think I have.
That is me. I don't know why it's going off when I'm on do not disturb. There we go. Signs. But yeah, this is going to be a pass for me as well, guys. I have a lean towards the Dodgers here in this spot. Just seeing the line kind of move towards them in their direction here in this way. What did they open up at, Spoons? Like a -110?
It was -110. So a lot of books didn't have this. I just found maybe 2 public books that were available to me, and they both had -110. ESPN Bet is the one I specifically remember looking at.
Yeah. It looks like Dodgers are a spot here. I'm not going to take them here, though. I mean, it is a reasonable price that you can take the Dodgers here, though. But Bubic, I like him. I think he's got good stuff over there with KC. But I just think Kansas City's kind of heading in the wrong direction, going through the rest of the season. Let's move on to the next game, guys. San Francisco Giants against the Chicago White Sox. We've got the San Francisco Giants currently sitting minus 150 on the money line. We've got San Francisco Giants minus 150 on the money line. Chicago White Sox plus 136 on the money line. Got a total juice to the over 8.5 minus 120. Verlander on the mound here against Cannon. I've talked about, I like this White Sox rotation. I like some of these arms in this rotation. I don't think I'm going to be able to fade Verlander here in this spot, but at the same time, Verlander hasn't shown me anything this season that he's still a dominant pitcher. I don't know how much he has left in the tank and if he's going to play another season after this. We'll see. I know he's fighting for wins, but I don't like his stuff out there. What do you have to say about this, Spoons? Break us down the weather report, market, all that good stuff.
So currently we have 69% of the tickets that have come in on the San Francisco Giants and Justin Verlander, and 66% of the cash on the side. We have 71% of the tickets on the under and 69% of the cash on the under. I saw this open at an 8.5, and honestly, it's moving the opposite way. It's juiced to the over. So I think the books view this as a spot where both these pitchers can probably be touched. I think the biggest thing we need to note in this game is that Jonathan Cannon is coming back from an injury. He just pitched in AAA last week. He only threw 50 pitches. That was 3 innings. Didn't look necessarily that amazing, but this is a spot where I don't want to try to back a young pitcher making his first real start in quite some time. I think it's a really huge X factor. And while Jimmy, our good friend, really doesn't like Justin Verlander this year, I think at some point he's going to start pitching better. He's got a big contract to pitch for the Giants, $15 million for this year. And I know he's old, a little bit over the hill, 42-year-old guy, but as we noted, he just had a kid. That's one of those psychological bounce back spots for a lot of people where they come out, you really lock in that whole fatherhood thing. I think it's important. We see it with hitters coming back, hitting nukes in their first game. I don't understand why Justin Verlander can't pitch well versus this weak Chicago White Sox lineup. This is a lineup that you would face in AAA if you were making a rehab start, Justin Verlander kind of guy. And I think there's a spot where he can come through, pitch well. I have a strong lean to the Giants. I would do it -1. Looking at the White Sox, trying to see, I see a lineup, official lineup. We have Tauchman, Medoth, Benintendi, Vargas, Kyle Teal, Sosa, Noda, Michael Taylor, and Josh Rojas. The catcher for the White Sox that really saved their game yesterday. Giants had runners on second and third with 1 out. They got a big strikeout, and he picked the guy off at third for a double play or 0 outs, and just absolutely ended that inning, like completely took all the steam away from the Giants. And Benintendi was able to hit a home run, and the White Sox won this game 1-0. One thing I guess I'd like to note is the White Sox didn't have to use their closer in that game. They relied on their setup man to go 2 innings because he was pitching so well, and that's Grant Taylor. Steven Wilson, Brandon Eisert, both available. Nobody else was used in this pen. So if Jonathan Cannon isn't out there looking very sharp, I would expect the White Sox to pull him within just a couple innings and just rely on that bullpen. And that's a spot where I think the Giants can also get to him. The White Sox bullpen has better numbers of recent, but the arms that are there aren't arms that I trust. This can only be a Giants spot for me. I'm not going to get there. There's too much volatility involved with Justin Verlander. I want him to pitch well. Doesn't mean he will pitch well. TJ, do you have anything on this game?
Yeah, I'm putting it in the -1 calculator now. I put a quarter unit on Verlander to record the win, which is the 1-player prop I have today. I just think everybody saw this line open. We were, part of things last night, and everybody wants to bet the White Sox against Verlander. But when you break down Cannon, and you did it thoroughly, so I'm not going to do it again. I don't think he goes more than a few innings here. Do I trust the Giants' offense? No. I mean, the eye test, they don't pass it of late. But they're still top half last 14 days versus righties, last 30 days. Last 30 days on the road, top 5. They've gotten to some pitchers lately. And I think this is that spot, like you say, where Verlander comes out and the team says, dude, we need something from you here. Let's go 6 or 7 innings. save our pen for a little bit and let us roll into the next series here. And we don't want to lose this one to the White Sox. It's been rough after they got swept by the Marlins. This is just a big game where a big game pitcher in his career, doesn't matter that he's old, I believe can step up and put the team on his back on this one. And I think if the Giants can get to 4, we cover this. So I would lean under, but my bet's going to be Giants -1, and I'm about to place that. I'm putting it in the calculator now. I'll get you that number in a second.
I'm going to do the Giants -1 too. I can do it. I think -125 is what I'm building here on one public book. I imagine that'll be a similar number to what you're getting. I'm going to make that official on my card as well.
I can get -114 on the exchange. I guess I shouldn't give that out on the show. So whatever the best public book you.
I'm thinking probably -1.
What'd you use? +108 and.
I'm looking. I see -154. I'm still kind of bouncing around.
You can use -146 and +107 at Heritage.
Let's go ahead and lock that in. Shout out Moose Money in the chat. This guy is breaking down college football every day. He's got a Moose Money drive. Follow this guy on X. He's putting in the hard work. Very few people do, breaking down team by team, going through stuff just really in depth. It's great knowledge you don't find in a lot of places. So shout out Moose Money. Thanks for showing up. Sorry, TJ, to cut you off there.
No, that's fine. That's awesome, man. I need to follow him because I'm trying to get more into the college capping as I get more free time. That comes out -119 at Heritage, which, by the way, guys, if you like playing offshores, man, Heritage is the best book for baseball. I'm telling you. That's somebody that has 25 different books I use. Heritage is
All right, sorry about that, fellas. Hey, I'm feeling a whole lot better after that. Finally, I got to yak, you know what I mean? I got it all out, so I'm back, boys. That's what I needed right there. So, and shout out to my guy Moose Money in the chat. I saw him in the building. Appreciate you, my guy, for showing out. We got to get you back here on the show. What's good, Pub Fam? Show the boys. Hit that like button. Appreciate you, my guy. Enjoy your Sunday. And yeah, that guy knows college football, man. We got a lot of messages going just back and forth talking about this season coming up, so I'm really looking forward to it. So shout out to you guys. Did you guys have an official play in this ball game?
What you need wine time is a beer, and some menudo.
I know, right? I got a beer opened up. I just haven't taken a sip yet. Menudo does sound really good right now, though.
We're both on Giants -1.
Okay, Verlander. And it's for his kid today, too. I heard that in the cap. So maybe that's going to have something to do with it. He's going to have some extra motivation out there. Giants -1 for TJ and Spoons, man. I might tell you guys on that one, but let's move on. Let's go to the AL West division, Seattle against the Texas Rangers. This has been an interesting series. It means a lot for both teams. Both these teams are right there in that division and wild card, going neck and neck with the Angels. It's going to be fun to see as the season goes on who's going to emerge as the number 2 team here in the AL West. We've got Luis Castillo on the mound for the Seattle Mariners, who are currently sitting 42-40 in the year. We've got the Texas Rangers sitting 41-42, and Letter on the mound. We've got a total of 8.5 at -115 to the under. We've got the Mariners sitting here at a -120 and the Texas Rangers at a +110. Looking into this game a little bit more here. Not a lot of live movement on this game from what I've seen. It seems like opened up around -123, -125, depending where you found it. And it's still sitting around that same number here, which I do agree with this number. I think it's a pretty evenly game. If I had a lean in this, I would maybe lean towards Jack Leiter. Spoons, take it away. Let me hear the market in this one and the weather first before I make a play.
Yep. So we have Luis Castillo and Jack Leiter, as you mentioned, on the mound. 58% of the tickets have come in on Seattle, and 82% of the money coming on Seattle. 56% of the tickets are on the under, and 53% of the cash is on the under. We have a total that opened up at 8 at some books, 8.5 others, and it's moved to an 8.5 at every book that I see. This is a spot I moved on last night. I took the over 8 at -115 on one of the books, I have Caesars written down. So it was Caesars, and it's a spot where I really like. The weather's pretty offensive here today. The temperature is going to be in the low to mid 90s, 90 to 94. And the feels like temperature will reach 96, 9-mile-an-hour winds blowing out to left. Our friends at Ballpark Pal have this modeled at 0% runs or any. There's nothing like that. The wind's not a big factor here because there is a roof on Globe Life. I just missed that note. The temperature is going to make it play very offensive friendly. These are two pitchers I just really don't trust that much on the mound. Also, this game went to extras last night, and both teams really had to get into their bullpen. So we look at Luis Castillo in his last 4 starts. He gave up 4 earned runs to the LA Angels. He gave up 2 earned runs to Cleveland, who really was not hitting at that point, 3 earned runs to Boston, and 5 earned runs to Minnesota. And that Minnesota game was on the road. That Angels game was on the road. So his last 10 innings pitched on the road, he's given up 9 earned runs and an average of 8.5 base runners. I think this is a spot where the Rangers can definitely get to Luis Castillo, in my opinion, at least. They've shown the ability to get to some other pitchers recently. And I know Brandon Young and Charlie Morton aren't the best, but I think these Texas bats are going to start to wake up more. Some of their numbers overall in the season look pretty pathetic versus right-handed pitching, but over the last 30 days, they've improved those numbers. They're 14th weighted runs created plus in baseball in the last 30 versus 26th on the full season. And I think that number will continue to improve over time. Jack Leiter, on the other hand, is a guy in his last 3 starts. He's given up 13 earned runs and not to the best lineups. We're talking about Pittsburgh and Kansas City and Minnesota. 9 base runners to Minnesota, 10 base runners to Kansas City, 7 to Pittsburgh. These aren't the best lineups. I think in his career, Jack Leiter is going to find a better spot. He will pitch better. This is a highly touted guy coming out of Vanderbilt, has some really nice stuff, but I think this is a spot where he's going to get hit by some of these lefty bats here for the Mariners. I don't see any way that this doesn't go under the 8 or doesn't go over the 8. There's 8.5s on the board right now. I don't know if I'd still bet it at the 8.5, and they were there last night. That's why I hopped on the 8. With the bullpens being taxed the way they are, I'm going to just go through quick and read off the arms. Seattle. So Seattle last night had Andres Munoz come out for back-to-back nights, and he really labored out there. I think there's 0% chance he comes out for this game. Matt Brash also pitched in back-to-back nights. That's the guy that they rely on most as their setup man. Gabe Speier, Carlos Vargas, 2 of their better middle relievers also have gone on back-to-back days. So that's 4 arms for Seattle that are their most trustworthy that aren't going to be available. On the other side of this, we have a Texas lineup that has a young kid on the mound that hasn't been able to really go deep into games. And they also have Robert Garcia, who's gone in back-to-back games. They have a guy, Luke Jackson, who didn't pitch yesterday, but he threw 20 pitches the day before. And he's recently coming back from an injury. So I don't know how much they really want to push this guy. We have Chris Martin in back-to-back days, Hope Milner coming in back-to-back days, Sean Armstrong going in back-to-back days. So these bullpens are really taxed. And I mentioned that I think the Rangers bats will find a way to start improving on the season. Seattle bats are very hot on the road. This is a team on the full season. They're second in baseball in weighted runs created plus. And that's not just a short sample size. Like over the last 14 days, they're third, last 30 days, they're second. This team really hits on the road. And I think that's just going to be always a true thing with the Seattle team. T-Mobile is very pitcher friendly. It's hard to hit the ball deep in that park. It's not conducive to playing offensive friendly games. So when they get out there on the road, the offense just really wakes up. And I think both of these pitchers give it up. This is an over for me. I got an 8 minus 115, and I really like it. It's a play I locked in with Kyle Kerms on the show last night.
Okay. Welcome back to the show, Dabby Cab. I know you've got a play for us in this one. You're muted.
Yeah, I was sitting there rolling up my weed. I didn't even know you brought me back on. What's up, guys?
Oh, my bad. No, you're good, Cab.
Yeah, for transparency purposes, everybody knows how I bet these player props I am slightly down, like not quite 2 units on Josh Smith this year. He's been somebody I've rolled with, but he's on a leash now. He better figure it the fuck out when I bet him, because I'm not going to go down, multiple units for anybody ever. I don't care who it is. I do think this is a very good spot for him. It's another one of those situations where you got a low total, so your props are going to have value. He's a leadoff. You're going to get 4. You might get 5 at bats. Very likely get 5 at bats. And you're giving me a minus 115 for his hits, runs, RBIs, something that this dude has covered 7 out of the last 10 games. I just think it's great value. 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs for a leadoff hitter in a game where I kind of think there's going to be some runs. Yeah, I'm not going to pass that out. And then if you want to take the small sample size that Josh Smith does have off Luis Castillo, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got 7 at bats. He's got 3 hits. Of those 3 hits, he's got 2 doubles and 1 home run. I mean, so the kid sees the ball of Castillo. Castillo is one of those guys that really relies on that sinker action on his fastball, that down and in run. And sometimes that really isn't the best thing for a lefty as a right-hander. And as much as I think Castillo has electric stuff, I think Josh Smith is in line to bash him up a little bit today. So Josh Smith over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. I should probably take the total bases at plus money too, but I'm not going to do it on this one. This is the one not plus money bet that I'm going to have today.
Okay, over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs for Josh Smith of the Texas Rangers. Thanks, Cap, for sharing your action there, my guy. I appreciate you. Good luck on that. I'm going to give you a little tail on that one, so I'm going to have a little something on that game as well. So shout out to you for that. Anything else you want to give out, Cap?
If I do, I'll pop back on with you guys. I think of it as it comes. Like the March, I made that bet while we were live, so I had to come up, man. Shout out to all you guys that are in the chat, rocking with the walk-off wager, fellas. TJ, man, killing it up here. Thank you, guys. I'm going to say it one more time. I know you guys said it. Moose Money. Follow him on X. He puts hours and hours and hours of work into his drive. All you got to do is tell him you want to get in it. Send him your email, and he'll put you in it. And then you got hundreds of pages worth of information coming up for this college football season. It's absolutely money, and it's free. So do it. Become a part of the crew. Thank you guys again. I love you all. See y'all soon.
Appreciate you, Cab. And shout out to Joey DFS in the building, one of the UFC guys over there. Shout out to you. Appreciate you for showing out as always, my guy. Good luck on your action today. Let's move it. And TJ, what do you have to say about the Seattle Mariners Texas Rangers game?
I like Spoons over 8. I'm passing at 8.5. I think regression for both pitchers is in line. I don't like the way Castillo's trending, although I'll continue to back him at home for a while. But Texas bats are hard to back, so hard to bet overs in Texas. I think it's the right side, but I'm off.
Yeah, I'm going to be off on this one.
I'm trying to get a little bit of action placed in here that I have to get entered before 1 o'clock. So I'm going to just pop off for just a minute. It'll take me 2 minutes to finish doing this. I said everything I have to do. These bullpens are cooked. Luis Castillo is a guy. We saw him pitch in Cincinnati, and in more offensive parks than T-Mobile, he does not look as good. I think he's liable to get hit by the Rangers, and I think Leiter is liable to get hit by the Mariners. This over is one of my favorite plays on the board today. Like I said, I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Take your time, Spence. Appreciate you. Get that action in. We got to get those bets placed. So let's move on to this next game. Let's go to Anaheim, guys. Let's go to the Angel Stadium here, the Big A. It's going to be the third game of the series here. We got Mitchell Parker on the mound for the visiting Washington Nationals against Jack Kahanowitz of the Angels, their young gun this year. Hasn't been pitching too well this year. His stuff, man, it's very inconsistent at times. I really question if they're ever going to move him out of the rotation. But interesting enough, it's actually been this way for a while. The Angels are the only team in baseball that has stuck with their 5-man rotation and haven't gone beyond that, haven't replaced anyone. It's been the same 5 guys that have been getting thrown out there. And that's been for like a month or two now, which is crazy. But yeah, Angels, what a win yesterday. Mike Trout comes up in the 7th inning, tie that ball game, and then it sparked a 5 or 6 run 7th inning for the Angels. Ended up getting them the win in that game. So it is tied 1-1 in this series here. And I'm not going to lie, though, part of me kind of wants to take these Washington Nationals, man, these left-handed bats against Jack Kahanowitz. I think guys like Abrams and Wood are going to be able to crush him, especially if they come up with guys on base. Jack Kahanowitz, once he sees the lineup more than once, it can get very sketchy in there. I don't really trust him a lot. He's one of the pitchers I don't have a lot of really hope for in the future. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think he's terrible, but I just don't really think he belongs in this rotation right now. I think he's still developing, and I actually like Mitchell Parker for the Washington Nationals. So I have a pretty big lean towards the Washington Nationals at plus 122 here, TJ. Do you have anything in this game between the Nationals and Angels?
Yeah, I was just looking at Ballpark Pal to see what they were saying about Angel Stadium today. It looks like nice hitting weather. Little bit of a breeze blowing out. No clouds. That's what I look like for in Anaheim. I don't want that marine layer, which this time of the year isn't a big deal, but it kills overs. I've been on the over the first 2 games of the series. I like both these offenses right now. I'm just waiting to see if Trout's in the lineup. I think they may sit him today. Give him a rest day. I don't know if the Angels have anyone on deck tomorrow. I can pull that up. Because if they don't have anyone on deck tomorrow, maybe he plays.
They do play tomorrow.
Yeah, they got to go to Atlanta. So I wouldn't be surprised if Trout sits, which would push me on the Nationals. I kind of want to preemptively just bet the Nationals, maybe just first 5, because I mean you look at their projected lineup, and you got Abrams, Wood, Garcia, Lau, Bell, Lyle. So 6 of the first 7 batters are going to be hitting from the left side. That spells a lot of trouble for good old Jack out there, who's doing a good job showing up every 5 days for the Angels. And, what you said, I didn't even realize it's probably why they've gotten on this run. Just a healthy pitching staff, even if they're mediocre. You don't have to deal with guys coming up and down and ruining your bullpen. We've also seen the bullpen numbers go up, so that makes a lot of sense. I don't necessarily trust Parker either. If Trout's in, I'm going full game over. If he's not, I'm betting the Washington Nationals money line, but nothing right now.
Okay. Yeah, and I agree with you, TJ. I think Trout might actually sit in this one and then maybe play Zach Neto at DH. I know he hasn't been playing the field the last couple of games. He had that shoulder injury, but he has pinch hit in a couple of those games. So maybe they give him the day off, but at the same time, maybe they start Darno behind the plate and put Ohapi at DH. So we'll see. But I can definitely see a Trout day off here going and traveling on the road tomorrow. But Spoons, Nationals, Angels, I know we kind of talked about it a little bit before the game or before we came on live. Anything you want to add? I'm leaning heavily towards Washington Nationals here.
I have a lean to the opposite side. Mitchell Parker is not a guy I'm going to continue to try to back this season. I'm going to try to find ways to fade him. He's a guy that struggles a lot with left-handed hitters, and we look at this Angels lineup, and you don't see a lot of left-handed hitters. But what you do see is a rejuvenated lineup. Like if we draw a line in the sand at the time of the managerial change, this baseball team's playing as good as anybody. And I think they can really get to Mitchell Parker here today. He's a guy that kind of struggles in the heat. It's not going to be too hot today in LA, but it's a spot where I don't think he's going to be as comfortable. On the other side, we get Kokonowitz being able to make consecutive home starts. I've mentioned it already. I like that for a pitcher. I know Jack's numbers are not that great, but the lefties for the Washington is all you really need to worry about. And he's pitched pretty decently against other teams that have a lot of lefties. He only gave up 2 earned runs to New York last time, 2 earned runs to Baltimore last time. And those were both on the road. So now he's home where he's a little more comfortable. The time of this game, you may have some shadows creeping up, giving some pitching advantage. I can't back Mitchell Parker. I think the Angels lineup will get to him. And hearing other sides from a lot of cappers I respect, it's not anything that makes sense. So I'm just going to be off this game, but I have a strong lean to the Angels.
Okay. Couple leans here in this game, and TJ told you what he will be on if Trout is ruled in or out. So it's going to be interesting to see. We should have a lineup here posted maybe before we get off. I'm going to guess in the next 30 minutes, but let's move on. We've only got 2 games left, guys. 1 game before the Sunday night baseball game. Let's go to Arizona. Arizona Diamondbacks against the Miami Marlins here. Diamondbacks, Rodriguez, Erod's on the mound today for them. The lefty, you got Cal Quantrill, the journeyman over there for the Marlins, who's actually been pitching decent at times this season, which actually I'm quite surprised at. We're seeing a total here at 9. I want to bring this up really quick. Okay, so yeah, Cal Quantrill against Eduardo Rodriguez here. No confirmed lineups as of right now. This game's going to be coming off in about 3 hours. Spoons, take it away here in this game. Break this one down. I'm curious to hear this breakdown. I don't think I'll end up having a play in this one, but take it away.
Yeah, so on this game, we have 60% of the tickets have come in on the over. 91% of the cash is on that over. This line opened at a 9, a little bit juiced to the over, and they haven't moved it at all. So they're very comfortable with the opening number they gave out to everyone. 76% of the tickets have come in on the Arizona Diamondbacks, but just 64% of the money. When you factor in the amount of money you have to pay for that money line, that means there's some sharp bettors on the Miami side of this. And I guess I could see why. Eduardo Rodriguez is a few years removed from being a quality pitcher in the major leagues. And the start of the season for this guy was just tumultuous. It was terrible. He gave up 3 earned runs to Philly, 6 earned runs to the Dodgers in less than 3 innings, 4 earned runs in one of the most pitcher-friendly parks, Oracle, to San Francisco Giants in 4 innings. But since then, he's really started pitching better. He went to Cincinnati, only gave up 2 at home versus Seattle. He only gave up 2, went 6 1/3. Toronto gave up 1 run. And versus the White Sox, he didn't give up a single run. I think that White Sox lineup is probably a little less successful than the Miami Bats, but they're probably comparable. And I think you give this guy a spot to pitch against another weak lineup. He finds a way to have another good game. Cal Quantrill's a guy that I don't have a ton of trust in. He's been pretty serviceable, not giving up more than 4 runs in his starts this year, but he's not going deep into this game. And this Miami bullpen is not a bullpen I put a lot of trust in. They don't have a traditional closer setup. Voucher and Enriquez split it. Neither of them pitched yesterday, but they both pitched the day before and pitched pretty heavily. So I expect one of them to be available, if not both. Anthony Bender, he's my favorite arm in this lineup. He's very comfortable pitching in the 8th inning. And if Miami ever has a lead, he's the guy you want to be available for you. And I don't think he's going to be available after pitching back-to-back days. Everybody else in this bullpen had the day off yesterday. And on the Arizona side, we had just about everybody go yesterday. Shelby Miller, Jalen Beeks, Ryan Thompson, Murillo, Kevin Ginkel. And after that, nobody's pitched on back-to-back days except Murillo. And I think that the arms that you need back there will be available. But these Arizona bullpen arms just been terrible to try to rely on this year. They constantly blow leads. The offense gets them there. We do need to note that Arizona is still missing one of their biggest bats, and not Ketel Marte, he's still there, but Corbin Carroll. And without him in the lineup, it looks a lot different. Maybe it is something that Cal Quantrill can try to get through, but I still think Perdomo, Marte, Smith, Suarez, Gurriel, Grichuk, Jake McCarthy, Thomas Herrera can get some runs off this Cal Quantrill kid, and the line reflects it. It's not a way I can bet it. It's just there's too much juice associated with a bullpen I can't trust. I'm not trying to do a first 5 fade of Cal Quantrill, and there's just no way I can really get this. Quantrill's got really bad numbers versus righties, and that probably plays better versus this heavy lefty lineup for the Arizona Diamondbacks, but they have a lot of guys that switch. So Ketel Marte can also hit from the right-hand side. Perdomo can hit from the right-hand side. Suarez is a righty. This is a spot where it's Diamondbacks or pass, but not enough correlates, so it's pass.
TJ, take it away. Arizona Diamondbacks, Miami Marlins, if you have anything in this game.
Yeah, this is a spot where nothing makes sense. Arizona on paper, and I'm taking Miami money line because I bet them 5 straight days, and they've won 6 straight.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep rolling with it, and it's all been plus money. And it just like last time, I mean, the team's fighting. Like, they looked dead in the water last night. I think they were down 3 or 4 in the 7th and came back and won in extras. And, they just look like they're enjoying playing baseball. And a lot of people I've heard out there, well, it's the last game of the road trip. They're going to want to pack it in and go home. And I would agree if it was a veteran squad, if it was the Dodgers, yeah, I'd fade them. But this team's going to want to keep this little run going. And then we get, if they win, it'll be real interesting because we have the best betting scenario in baseball, according to Jimmy, a team on a 7-game win streak switching cities on Tuesday. And I'll be really confused as to what to do because I want to bet Miami again. But this is one of those times where, as a bettor, it may not make sense on paper. It feels ugly. But if you've been cashing with it, in my opinion, you keep rolling with it. And so that's why I'm on Miami. Don't necessarily endorse it if you haven't been on Miami, but
I don't hate it at all at a plus 170 price here with Quantrill. Yeah, and you mentioned the Marlins are playing good ball lately. I mentioned it a week or two ago on Jimmy's show, like when I was watching them come from behind victory. It just looked like you said, like they're having fun out there, like they're enjoying it. They're young, they're learning how to win still. And in baseball, you have to learn how to win before you start winning consistently. And they got a lot of young guys in that lineup that seem like they love playing for them. So I like the spot. I'm not going to move on it just because I haven't been on the Marlins, but I do like the plus money spot. I'll never talk you off a plus 170, plus 180 spot. Spoons, you have anything?
That offense has been smacking the ball around, man. And bullpen pitching is contagious. And their bullpen's been excellent of late. 2.580 ERA over the last 3 weeks. Like, I know, and it doesn't make sense, but it's working right now. So
sometimes it doesn't make sense. You still got to take it if you're cashing with it. Spoons, do you have anything you want to touch on this game before we get to Sunday Night Baseball?
I have faith in Edward Rodriguez to pitch well today, and it's just going to keep me off that. I like TJ riding with a team that's making him a bunch of money, and it's not anything I'm going to get in the way of. But I don't see the path myself.
And Big
guys,
Daddy,
I got to jump off. Thanks for having me on, man. It's been a pleasure. Shout out to the chat, man. You guys know I'm almost always in the chat all week on Pub. Love talking to you guys. Consider you guys friends, family, and it's been a pleasure. I hope to get to do this every other Sunday from now on out. But
TJ, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, TJ, we appreciate you, my guy. Shout out to TJ, man, showing up. He was here for almost the entire show. I was a little bit behind today, so I appreciate him doing some of the heavier work today. Yeah, anytime we can get TJ back on the show, we're going to do it. Been trying to get him on the show for a little bit now, and I know he's just got a crazy Sunday schedule, so shout out to him for showing out. Walk-off wagers debut. Love that. And let's get to this Sunday Night Baseball game, Spoons. We've got the Minnesota Twins against the Detroit Tigers. Got the AL Central here. Skubal on the mound. I mean, what do you think he's going to be priced at? He's priced out at minus 330 right now, which is a little bit excessive, I think. But I think the books are telling us everything they need to know is that he's going to go out there and pitch well. We're seeing the Twins team total 2.5 juice to the under at minus 125. Twins just heading in the wrong direction going, I feel like, throughout the rest of the season. This isn't a team I'm going to want to back by any means. They had that nice little run for a couple weeks. And since then, it's still the same team. It's still that same boring offense. I'm not a fan of it. Detroit Tigers playing some really good baseball. I mean, still sitting here 20 games over 500. We're at the half-point part of the season. Who knew they were going to have this solid of a start? I didn't, that's for sure. Spoons, take it away. We've got a big favorite here on the Sunday Night Baseball game and one of the best pitchers in baseball, Tyreek Skubal.
Yeah, so this game has 63% of the tickets on the under and 57% of the cash on the under. 89% of the tickets have come in on the Detroit Tigers and 91% of the cash has come in on those very same Tigers. The books are respecting that Tigers spot by moving the line from something minus 275, 280 kind of opener to something I see all the way up to minus 345 at some books. I know my guy Jose would just automatically hit the Minnesota Twins button. I think my friend Kyle last night on the show actually rode with the Twins, or at least he had a very strong lean to them. I'm not 100% sure. But what I had a lean on in this game was the total. I was looking at ESPN Bet. They don't give you full numbers. So when there's a 7 opener kind of thing, they'll either give you the 7.5 or a 6.5, and it's just going to be associated with a lot of juice. And I was staring down a 6.5 minus 135, and the minus 135 just felt like a lot of juice. But I was asking myself, how do we not get 7 runs in this game? And the Minnesota Twins versus left-handed pitching are a top 10 lineup in baseball over the last 30 days, 8th in WRC plus and OPS. Tariq Skubal, while I know he's one of the best pitchers in baseball, he's also shown the ability to give up some runs. He gave up 3 runs to St. Louis. He gave up 2 runs to Pittsburgh, 4 runs to the Athletics. He's a guy that I expect to see the Twins get at least 1 or 2 off him, but that's not where I think the runs come from in this game. It's Chris Paddock on the other side of the mound. This guy started the season way better than I expected him to. As a rookie, I remember watching him come out, and I was like, wow, this guy's got some good stuff. And very quickly, it became clear to everybody that a little bit of a hothead mental issues there. And so when things don't go well for him, it spirals. And when things go well for him, he just locks in with that confidence and he continues to do well. And So I asked myself, is this a spot where he can lock in, or is he going to spiral? And I see a bunch of really hard hitting lefties in this Tigers lineup. And is that a bad thing for Paddock? Yes, he's a 5.25 xFIP versus lefties on this season. That the lineups that have good lefties are hitting him. Seattle got 4 earned runs off him in 5 innings pitched. I just don't think that Chris Paddock is going to be able to do that well here versus this Detroit lineup. Tigers bullpen has been just lights out on the full season. There's versus bullpens, they've been lights out. So this Twins bullpen is 30th in baseball in ERA over the last 30 days. Same in the last 14 days. There's arms back there that a lot of us want to trust, but they've been pretty worked coming in to this point. Let me really quickly. So Yoandran didn't pitch yesterday, but he had pitched 3 or 4 days before that. Griffin Jax didn't pitch yesterday, but he had pitched 3 or 4 days before that. Cole Sands was really the only person that came out, so he's on 2 of 3. But the arms will be there. Louis Varland, Griffin Jax, and Yohan Duran are my big favorite arms in that lineup, and they haven't been pitching well. I don't understand why these Tigers bats can't also get to him. If they don't get 4 off Paddock, they get 3 off Paddock and 2 more off the Twins bullpen. I don't know. The Tigers bullpen on the full season is 11th in baseball, but that hasn't been true over the last month or so. They've really kind of come down to earth, and I always think they do a really good job at handling their arms. I think there's runs in this game. The 6.5 minus 135 is gone, but I have faith that it might come back because Tariq Skubal's on the mound, and a lot of people are going to try to hammer unders. And if I get a chance at the minus 135 again, I'll do it this time. When I saw it, I thought the unders would get hammered and I'd get a chance at a 130 or 125, and that's why I didn't pull the trigger. But it's gone right now, and I'll tweet it out if I get the 6.5. I will be checking my books very frequently. ESPN Bet is the one that won't give out the full totals, so they'll be the one that offers the 6.5 for me first, and that's the one I'm going to try to snag it on. Don't have a ton else on this game. The temperatures are going to be pretty nice. It's going to be in the high 80s, 84 to 88 during game time, with the temperature dropping as it goes on, and winds blowing in about 5 miles an hour at Comerica. Ballpark Pal has this modeled at plus 2% runs overall and plus 6% home runs. Nothing out of the ordinary for a place like Comerica.
Yeah, I'm currently seeing right now the full game total. I've got a 7.5 juice to the under at minus 120. To the over, it's plus 100. Yeah, it's a tough game. I haven't really taken a lot of Tyree Skubal starts this season, just the way they're priced. I haven't really been able to find a lot of value in certain spots. I will say one bet that has a little bit of value. I feel like, the under 2.5 on the Twins team total. I just think 2.5 right here, that's so low and it's juice to the under. I don't know if they're going to be able to get 2 runs today in this ball game. It's nothing official though. It doesn't correlate enough for me. I'm going to probably look at this game in a couple hours once the lineups get announced, and we'll see where we go from there. I lean towards the team total on the Twins though. It doesn't correlate enough for me, guys. But yeah, Spoons, nothing for you in this game. You just want to maybe move on. If you can get a 6.5, you're going to move on that over, you said?
Yes, and I'll be willing to pay the juice when I see it. There's not a 6.5 that I can build at this point. I was talking at the show. It was probably 1 o'clock in the morning, and we were closing out the card, and I was talking about the 6.5 with Kyle on screen. The second we hit the end stream button, Kyle and I were on screen, and I just immediately blurted out F because it moved on me like in my card. I had it sitting there and I saw the 7.5, and sometimes they don't go back, but the way their algorithm works, they try to push money on both sides. That's why they do that 6.5, 7.5 thing instead of doing the push. So at some point, I feel like with enough under money, they're going to try to balance that book out, and I'm going to get a chance to hit that 6.5. So I'll tweet it out when it happens. I have 6 plays already, so maybe I don't need to go there. It looks like Guardians aren't coming through for me so far, but there's a lot of baseball left to be said, and part of my cap on that game was the bullpen. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, we got a nice card today, Spoons. Usually I'm the one with 5 or 6 bets on the day. Here you are with 6 bets on the day, and you still might add a couple more as we go on. I've got 2 guys, just 2 today. Sunday's kind of been not so good of a day for me, so I wanted to go a little bit lighter today. Doesn't mean we're not going to add anything later. Still got to go over a couple things, but My official plays today, I'm going to go over are the Red Sox money line minus 105 and the Rockies Brewers under 8.5 minus 120. Just 2 plays for me today, guys. We're gonna keep it simple, and hopefully we go 2-0 today. Spoons, great show today. Shout out to everyone on the show. Before we get out of here, though, share your action for today. Let the people know where they can find you this week and what we're doing over here at Walk Off Wagers.
Yeah, me and my friend Wine Time will be here every single Sunday for the rest of the baseball season, breaking down these cards in every way that we think is important. Try not to skip any big details, and we rely on you in the chat to bring up things that we might miss as we go through this. This is a team effort here. We all just trying to have one goal, and that's to take money from the books on a daily basis. And things have been going pretty well here. I'm excited to work with you every single week. Wine Time, like you said, sometimes a little more conservative than this. 6 plays is the most I've had in a little bit. I have the New York Mets -1, -114. I have the Astros -1, -108. I have the Guardians money line +108. I have the Mariners Rangers over 8, -115. I have the Giants -1, -122. And I have the Boston money line -108. I will go through and update my card on X. And the only play that I expect to add is that over 6.5 in this Detroit and Minnesota game. Everybody loves Sunday night unders. It's a very popular thing. I do believe we'll get the chance to strike on that 6.5. So don't be surprised when you see me tweet it out later. You can find all my action always on X at Spoons Bets. I'm making content here a few times a week here with Pub Sports Radio. I try to hop on Mondays with Dabby and our guy Dutch. They do a great job on the sesh. They don't necessarily hit the card the way we do, like going in like games this way. They bring you lots of action from cappers. There's no back and forth about maybe I might bet this game. They're just bringing you actual bets, and with it, they're bringing you a nice environment to hang out. And then on Thursdays, I join Jimmy the Bag. You're there Wednesday and Friday with Jimmy, obviously, and that's a great show. Jimmy's such an intelligent capper. The way he approaches everything has changed the way I've capped over the last few years, getting a chance to talk with him and everything. And it's just really exciting to be able to go on there. And then a few times a week, I'm on the Kyle Kerms show. We do midnight shows, break down the card the day before, put in some action, but give you takes on every game. It's really just a kind of quick looks, try to hit everything, the opening lines before they come out. At that time, there's still limits on everything. So the lines are a lot softer because they know none of those big whales like TJ are about to throw their money down, because he can't put enough money on the lines at that point. He'd have to spread it out across multiple books, and it's just a lot of effort. So I'm having a good time over there. Ton of effort putting the work in, but it's been one of the hottest streaks I've ever had in baseball. I haven't lost since I had a losing day since last Thursday, and I'd like to keep it going. 6 plays on the board today. I'm putting it out there. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Spoons. Yeah, he's been killing it over there, man. If you're not following him, go follow him over on Twitter. And as he mentioned, he'll be breaking down the MLB card with Jimmy the Bag this week. Spoons, great show as always, my friend. I did you did more of the heavier lifting, you and my guy TJ today. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate Jose for stepping in as well. This will be the only time you'll see me hungover on a Sunday show. So it'll be the last time. But with that being said, great show as always. Shout out to everyone in the chat, man. I think we're going to get the most views we've ever had on this show. Currently, we're sitting at about 171 likes. That's great, guys. We appreciate it. If we can get to 200, we appreciate it even more. But I appreciate you guys for showing out, showing all the love that you do, supporting this show. We're nothing without you guys. I'll be with Jimmy the Bag Wednesday and Friday this week. I always try to make it for the sesh, but I just never can with my work schedule and stuff on Monday. But I'm hoping I can make it there one of these weeks. Shout out to my guy Kong's Clip in the building right there as well. Appreciate you, my guy. Spoons, appreciate your hard work as always, my friend. Let's keep this rocking and rolling, man. And
gamble responsibly.
Gamble responsibly. And what my guy Jose would say, let's say those bookmakers, baby. Let's go. Good luck to everyone.